the globe Earth?
You have a model. You think you have a model. You have a mathematical.
We don't think we have a model. We do have a
dude,
model. I can show you a model.
Dude, you have a mathematical abstraction from geometry.
No, it has nothing to do with maths. I posted the model inside of the chat.
It most definitely does.
I'm waiting for the flat Earth model.
Oh, we don't have one. This is what we're trying
Why
to point out. Because it's going to depend on the phenomena that you're talking about, and I use the word phenomena very loosely in this instance for your benefit. So,
if you don't have a model,
hold on,
then how can you prove that the flat Earth is a thing?
Oh, because we measure it.
Measure it with what model?
No, we don't measure with a model. This is why Sasha was jumping in. We measure reality, what the Earth is.
Okay, well, what is reality to you?
Reality lays horizontally. Measured mean sea level is a horizontal reference datum. The water lays horizontally, dude. There's no curvature found on the Earth. No curvature measured on the Earth.
There's no curvature at all measured on the Earth.
No. Mean sea level is a measured.
What's your opinion on the 40-kilometer theory for the flat Earth?
So you don't understand, right?
And silence. There it is.
No, because you don't understand, because you jumped to something else about a 40-kilometer theory. No, I haven't.
I asked you a question in relation to yours.
No. What is the 40? What has that got to do with what I'm trying to explain to you about water being a horizontal datum?
I'm just asking a question.
No is the answer third time.
Alright, so you don't know what
are you saying that you're saying that you're not listening to anything else?
Yeah, local. How about that? Do pigs fly and horses fly and shit? Yeah, why don't you ask that
does
too?
blood exist and
hey, what's your favorite color?
In the forest?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good one, Neil. What's your favorite color, man? Like it's fucking relevant. Can you stay on topic, sir? Or leave?
Coming from you.
Ironic.
You asked us.
Ironic.
You asked us.
You have a model, and can you show me a model?
No.
If you can't show me a model, then you don't have an argument to prove the flat Earth.
You don't like position of these people. You are saying that you don't like the flat earthers because they are
when did I say that?
I'll do it quickly.
When did I say that?
Sorry, Jedi. Only a second. Because you said that you are interested in their position, and they are telling you their position, and you want to model. They don't have model.
Yes. Now I want. If there's no model, then what is there to argue? If you don't have a model, then there's no point arguing.
Where do you start with a model?
You can't prove or show me what a flat Earth looks like if you have no model. So therefore, the argument is redundant.
Where do you start with a model?
What do you mean?
Where do you start?
Yeah. How you make a model?
You want me to explain to you where you can start?
Yeah, we're going to start with measurements, aren't we?
Okay, then using your measurements, how come you still don't have a model?
Because, like I said, I was trying to allude to this earlier, we don't know or make a claim to the entirety of reality. So how can we model something that we don't make a claim to? The globe model makes a claim to the entirety of reality. That's the reification of that model. We don't reify models into existence. We understand, however, for any model
to outline the structure of a model.
I haven't quite finished. We understand, however, that to start any model, you're going to start with measuring the Earth. Now, for you to have a globe model and for us to have a flat model, we're going to have to measure the Earth, and when we measure the Earth, it's flat.
Like, just maybe make it simple, politician, right? Like, you're standing right now, like, you're standing in the backyard. How do you begin modeling the Earth? Just where do you start? Where would you start?
What'd you do?
I already showed you a model that I gave.
No, just to prove to yourself, like from scratch, just so you can have a proof that you can take with you through life. You're in the backyard and now you're going to come up with an idea of how to begin this. What would you do?
Actually, I don't actually need to do that. Someone in chat just did it for me. Thank you. What's your name?
So
Alex.
Within your model, the Earth is a sphere with a specific radius, right?
Yes, it's a
Good.
sphere.
So
Well, not a
when we
perfect sphere, actually. It's more like an
okay,
egg.
okay, no problem. But when we measure the surface for curvature, there's no curvature to be measured. The water lays and is measured and used as a horizontal reference datum. So the Earth is not a ball. If that's your claim, when we go and test your model, there's no curvature to be measured.
Okay.
Cool. So the Earth measures to be flat then?
No.
Yes, it's measured to lay horizontally. Water, 73% of the surface of the Earth, is a horizontal reference datum known as mean sea level. Altitude and depth are taken from this mean sea level. Cartography, charting, mapping, navigation takes place on the horizontal reference datum.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. What do you think, politician?
I'm currently just watching chat right now. My questions are getting answered for me.
Okay. So, how would you do it? Would you do it different? Like, so there's a claim, right, that the Earth drops in a steady, like water drops in elevation, right? It drops over distance. What kind of tool, or what would you use to establish a horizontal reference to then measure the water dropping away in the distance? What tool would you use?
What do you mean?
I'll say it again. So there's a claim that the water that's on Earth, that is curved, that it drops in the distance. Like you'll be standing at A, and in the distance at B, it's lower, right? And it keeps getting lower until it turns into a sphere, right? It comes back around. So the water is dropping away. What tool would you use to establish a horizontal plane of reference that you could measure that drop over distance? What tool would you use?
Not really sure. I'm not the one doing the experiment in real life.
Well, that's just a measurement. Like, how would you measure anything if you had 2 points in your backyard again, right? And you wanted to see if one was higher and one was lower. What tool would you use to see if one was higher and one was lower?
Not really sure.
Okay, we'll take you even closer. How about you're in your room, you want to see who's taller, you or the other person? What tool would you use to measure if one person's taller and another person's shorter?
I would stand next to them and look down at them.
Okay, you would just look. Okay, now that you have one person next to the other person, right? So if you want to find out the difference, right, without using a vertical tape measure, you could the distance between the two people. I'm sorry, you could have them vertical. The distance between the two people, could they be any further apart? I mean, any shorter distance than a straight line distance between the two? Could there be a possible shorter distance?
Who knows?
Is there such a thing?
Obviously, I can
as
see
shorter,
that they're shorter than me.
Is there such a thing as a shorter than a straight line distance?
In Euclidean space, of course.
Is there anything that is shorter than a straight line from A to B?
Let him ask GPT.
I'm looking down at them, so the answer is I'm higher.
How do you know, right? How do you know they're higher? How would you know you're taller besides looking? You're saying you would measure, right? You'd say, okay, I'd measure. You're 10 feet, or you're 6 feet, and you're 5 feet, right? Tall.
Don't need to measure myself being taller than someone else if I can just stand next to them.
Right. So what if somebody's standing lower than the other person?
Then they're lower.
How do you know?
Because I'm looking down on them.
How do you know they're lower?
Because
can you measure that they're lower?
I don't need to measure to know that they're lower.
Okay, so how do you know anything? These claims that you were making earlier, right? You don't know how to measure.
I'm looking down, right, at the person that's below me, and I can see below me that they're below.
This isn't like a trick, dude. Just measure somebody's height, right? So what you're gonna do is you'll measure the height. You say, okay, this person's 6 foot tall, this person's 5 feet tall, right? And you'll be measuring that off of like a baseline of the floor. The floor does if the floor changed in elevation, then your measurements would be wrong, and you wouldn't be 5 foot and 6 foot relative to that reference of the floor, right? Is this like a trick, or is this just like It's just like you have kids, you can mark it on the door. If you were a kid, you could mark it on. This is not a trick. This is like just life. Why are you taking issue with this right now?
I'm not taking issue with it. I gave you an answer.
Yeah, you say you just look at it.
Yeah, I just looked at them. They're clearly lower than me, so they're lower.
Check this out, right?
I don't need to measure that to know that they're lower. It's common sense.
Yeah, I hear that. Now, check this out, right? If you wanted to refine the answer, right, to be more precise, okay, and get some sort of degree of certainty as to what the difference was, you would use a tool, right? I think that is what what's his name?
If I'm looking down at someone who's obviously lower than me, why would I need a tool for that?
I asked you specifically, what tool would you use? And it's like you're avoiding it at every chance. I don't know why. What tool would you use?
I don't need a tool. It's common sense.
Well, here's the thing, sir. Let's say you guys were just about the same height. Imagine this, right? If you guys were just about the same height, you weren't really sure, who was taller by a quarter inch or what. It was hard to tell, because your eyes are of different distances from your forehead, all sorts of reasons that might, lead you to not be certain. You would use a fucking tool. I think that's the whole point.
Well, yeah, maybe what tool would you use to make sure that the floor was level? You wouldn't just look at that. Well, how would you make sure the floor is level?
The floor? Why would the floor not be level?
Let's just make sure. Are you saying that like things are just automatically level, like in flat, like everywhere you go, everything's level? 2D world?
I mean, assuming you live in a house where houses are, level, they kind of have to be constructed level.
Yeah, but sometimes they sink, sir. Older places, whatever. And if you want to be sure, right? Let's say you're filing an insurance claim or something.
I absolutely love how the anti-globalist guy banned the other guy from the voice chat for no reason. Anyways, yeah, I'm in a level.
Hold on a second, dude. Hold on a second.
I'm putting a ruler.
Hold on,
both
local. Dude. Up for a second. Banning someone for using the N-word in the chat is normal, okay? So don't bitch about that, please. Do the same thing, I'll ban you too.
Yeah, keep in mind
second, they're black.
He's looking for a way out.
Dude, their chats are deleted when they get deleted too, so maybe that's why it looked like nothing happened. Okay. Keep that in mind.
Keep what in mind?
This guy's got the attention span of a gnat.
Can this guy fucking shut up?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
at this point.
He's all mixed up.
I grab a ruler. I will use
a ruler. Doesn't know if he's coming or going.
Tool.
Dude, I just said why someone might get banned and it looks like they didn't do anything. When you look in the chat, you don't see any of their messages.
No, I'm not talking about that.
It's what I just said, and you just asked what am I talking about.
I don't care. I'm talking about how someone...
Dude, shut the fuck up. Why are we still talking to this guy? It's been like 4 hours or something. To be fair, like everyone in the room. Yeah, I will. Because you're not saying anything worthwhile listening to anyway.
It's good to get his desperation on the record, but other than that...
You're the one repeating yourself.
You just don't like the answers. You just don't like the answers.
Dude,
that's all
your answers don't make any sense. They're incoherent. They're not backed by anything. Okay, we take about 5-10 different approaches.
Stop back.
Dude, okay, what paper did you cite? Did you cite one?
Yeah, I've cited 4 of them, actually.
Hold on. His answers are so incoherent. He claimed 2 gravities, and we said, which one do you claim? He said, I claim both. Now, how are we going to continue? How are we going to continue in a conversation when you claim 2 different gravities, you frickin' retard?
I said, and I will repeat myself, since you didn't pay attention, that I was wrong about that. I said that to Jedi, to Heretic, I was wrong about that. Both of them.
Okay, so here's my question on that. Here's my follow-up question on that. Then why do you still found all your stuff on something that you just realized, that you just admitted to? Because you don't really have much of an argument.
When we're talking about 2 people, one being slightly shorter than the other, I said that...
I'm not talking about that. I'm going back to your gravity thing.
That's what the original subject was.
Yeah, and then we brought up a floor.
Dude, the original subject of this entire thing was not about whether 2 people are taller than the other. That's something that we just started in the last 5 minutes to try and convey a fucking idea to you, okay, that measuring shit is important. 4 or 5 hours ago, whatever, I only got here maybe 3 listening to your sorry ass wobble around.
Yeah, I guess
okay?
it's been going on for like 1
All
hour.
right, all right. Whatever the fuck, a long goddamn time.
Daylight fucking
The original
savings, man.
argument
It's been like
was
longer.
the original argument was whether the Earth is flat or a globe. So we're talking about that now because this is fucking stupid. Okay. So what Neil just pointed out is that you're invoking 2 basically incompatible models. Okay, you admitted that, oh shit, one of them, well, I made a mistake on this, that, the other thing, and I'm asking you, why do you still hold your other stuff like a fucking teddy bear? Okay, when these things are founded on either one or the other, of which you can't even make up your mind about. It doesn't make any sense, sir.
Well, I
feel
tried to
like
give
you
my
realize-
answer, but you keep interrupting.
Yeah, I feel like you realize.
Oh, we interrupted. We've been here for 4 hours.
Yes,
Dude, this question has been asked about
and your
5-10 different
questions
ways.
are
in the
constantly circular.
They're not circular. They're the same. The reason why they sound circular is because of the same question worded differently, coming at you from different angles. Because your answers are not. They're nonsensical. So we're trying to convey this. Dude, your answers are incoherent and they're not founded on anything. We're trying to get
I gave
something out
you
of
very simple second grade level answers. They're coherent.
Like Mick has had some really good points earlier, and he was making them to you, and then I guess recently, right? Like just with the most recent line of questioning, local politician, I was asking you simple stuff, and you're like, I don't know, I look at it, I don't care. So you're showing like you didn't give a shit to the.
I've been DM'd asking. So what the person's asking why they were banned.
Yes, so it looked, and then you changed it to about somebody being banned, and like you didn't give a shit.
I didn't change it. I was acting as a messenger.
That's fine, yeah. So like that's fine. So when I was asking you that line of questioning about how do you measure these things, you kept saying, I don't know, who cares? I don't know, who cares? So people are putting an effort with you.
I didn't say,
and they might feel, well, I don't know. You start saying, look at it. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, those aren't serious answers, right? So why are you taking it so serious and not serious?
You were being a smartass.
How would I
and then someone asked you about the floor being level. You said,
one being shorter, one being taller. I would look down at the person that was shorter.
Yeah, so if you want to get serious, I mean, Mick is just asking you if you want to get serious.
But then you're disagreeing with that. For some reason, you're disagreeing with that. You want to make it overcomplicated.
You jumped to politician. You jumped to its common sense, which I agree with, right? Because we all know that level is horizontal, right? It's common sense. So if I have to look down to something, that means there's a change in elevation. That change in elevation is measured in the vertical, and that vertical is perpendicular to horizontal. It's common sense. We all just know it, right? But then there's this other claim, right? That is on the table is that the same tool, right, the water level that we use to establish a horizontal plane of reference drops over distance. So it's not so common sense anymore. That's why I ask you, what tool would you use to measure a change in elevation from?
And
what would you use to reference?
Yeah, he said a ruler. Good. So you get the notion that it's important to be accurate and use tools that are objective, or use tools objectively, however you want to word it, okay, to establish conclusions. Right?
What's the property?
I said ruler like 20 minutes
ago. What's the property of a ruler?
Thank you.
It's a measurement device.
It does 2 things, doesn't it? So 1, it's a measurement device, and 2, it's a straight edge, right? And if we have an orientation of this straight edge, we can have it vertical, we can have it horizontal, right? So the straight edge, a distance of that straight edge, is going to be good to find a deviation from that horizontal at distance. Yeah? Yes?
Yep. I'm waiting.
Good.
Continue.
Awesome stuff. So we should be able to measure a deviation from a straight edge over a distance of water if the surface of the Earth was curving. We don't.
Okay.
Cool.
Continue.
No, that's it. I don't need to show you anymore because that's a measurement over distance from a straight edge. Cool. So we can use many things as a straight edge, right? You can use physical objects like a ruler. We can, have a structure, We can have a pool side. We can have a lake side. We can use water as the horizontal reference to all horizontals, which are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Okay.
Good. So over distance with a straight edge, like for example, an infrared laser, we show there is no deviation of the water from that straight edge.
Okay. Yep.
Good. So the Earth is measured flat.
No, I disagree.
I knew he was going to say that.
No.
Because I never agreed with anything. I'm just waiting for you to continue.
Oh,
can I ask you? Can I? Oh, sorry. If you were going to continue, Jedi,
I have
I just want to ask
10 minutes left.
Why?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So why would you disagree with something like that? Do you have something that goes against it, or is it just an ingrained belief that you just can't shake?
Because it's a misunderstanding of how
scientific
works.
Listen to the measured language.
Yeah, buddy, this is not science. We're taking a ruler. We're taking. Hang on.
It's my turn to
This
respond.
is not. No,
You've already done your question. Now I need to respond to it.
You misquoted. Hang on, no, you misquoted
You've already
me.
done your question.
Shut the fuck up.
Now
you
I'm
misquoted
going to
me.
to it.
Shut the fuck up.
I did
Shut
not
the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You misquoted me, jackass. Okay, this is not a scientific endeavor.
The flat Earth.
You mischaracterized what I said. You're a jackass. This is not a scientific endeavor. This is more akin to fucking like what carpenters would do. Okay, are carpenters scientists? No. Okay, this is a measurement thing. The data collection process that you then go feed into whatever other algorithms or formulae that you may have. Okay, this process of collecting the information ahead of time is what we're talking about. Now, do you have something that goes against this set of collected data?
Yes, because...
okay, please present it, sir.
Because we cannot use this data to prove the flat Earth because it misunderstands how science works. For the flat
Why are you saying science again, jackass? This is not science. You fuckwit.
Because the flat Earth is related to science, and we're talking about the flat Earth.
This is not a scientific question, sir. 10 people said this to you already. Maybe 5. More than 1 is enough to make my point.
10 billion people said this to you already, sir.
Well, no, this isn't a scientific question. This is a category error. Right? Science,
I keep saying that.
I know. Science, like I went through with you earlier, is hypothesis construction and experiment into what causes stuff to happen. When we're dealing with how and why questions, the Earth is a what is question. So to figure out what it is, we have to look at it and measure it.
Yep.
So this will be a geometric claim. We're going to be invoking geometry and maths, not science.
So I'm not allowed to use science as an argument anymore?
Not when we're measuring an abstract definition. No.
What do you mean by that?
The surface description.
No, in the face of reality isn't science.
Yeah, we're trying to determine the surface description. Is it horizontal? Is it curved over distance? That's not a scientific question.
I'm not really understanding what you're trying to ask.
I'm not asking you anything. I'm telling you that you can't use science to determine the shape of an object.
Exactly what a pseudoscientist would say.
Can you give me a direct question?
Okay, I'll give you a direct question and see if you follow. Do you have a scientific experiment that proves the shape of the Earth?
I thought we were doing geometry.
Yeah, exactly. There wouldn't be a scientific experiment that proves the shape of the Earth, right? That would be a category error. We'd measure it, wouldn't we?
Damn, he learned something.
So, we're not doing geometry, and everything you're saying
No,
is
we are.
related to science
Wow.
because your direct
Where did that come
question
from?
He's out there,
was,
dude.
how would I scientifically prove
Do
that
you
the
think that
Earth is a
do you
globe?
think that geometry is a science?
It can be related to science.
But is
Stop the cat.
science? Sorry, do we use the scientific method to elucidate a shape?
And if we use it in a broad sense of the term,
No.
then yes, it is indeed a
No,
science.
no, not the broad sense. There's only one sense, the scientific method. It's got 4 steps. There can be more, but they'll always have these 4 because the other ones are just data collection. But ultimately, to figure out the shape of an object, you don't use the scientific method. Hypothesis construction and prediction into cause and effect relationship.
Dude, if you're going to keep telling us that you got to go, why don't you just fucking go?
No, I'm just saying I have 5 minutes left, so I'm waiting for him to get to the point.
The point is you don't need science to figure out a surface description. The Earth...
Hold on, can you say that
He's
again?
struggling to follow along.
You got the point,
science to...
man. I hope that you got the point finally from. I hope that you got the point from Jedi finally. He explained it to you how it's measuring, and now it's on you that you believe that or not.
I asked him to repeat his question because I didn't hear him.
There is no question, man. There is a message. There is no curvature in
and
your
I'm
message.
asking him to repeat it because I didn't hear it.
No, there is no question. There is information. He's telling you that it's message.
Okay, I understand. I'm asking him to repeat it because I didn't hear what he said.
Go click and that.
Jedi, can you tell me
can you please
why?
repeat it?
Can you tell him why Earth is measured and what he's doing with the Earth, how it's navigated?
No, not that. I just want him to repeat what he said from the last, I think.
You're already live in YouTube. You can just go and rewind the tape. Click on that YouTube profile that you see above.
It would
Click
be
on the link in the
easier if
profile.
he just repeated himself. It's
Man, do you want to debate?
For you. Here's the thing, sir. You're asking of people to do shit for you, which you can do for yourself. Okay, I think everyone in this room has been more than
if I did the YouTube thing, I would be taking longer, and I'd
well,
not
guess
take
what? Guess what? And guess what? If you want to be a little snobby, fucking spoiled brat, you can demand that. Here's the thing:
I'm not demanding it. I'm asking nicely.
Whatever. Here's the problem. Okay, there's 35, 40 fucking people in this room. Okay, most of which have been gracious enough to give you their time for the last 3-4 hours. Okay, the least you can do is, do something, lift a goddamn finger for yourself, right? And it's actually probably to your benefit because the recording is the recording. Okay, if you asked him to repeat himself, he might use different words. Okay, and that might not be suitable for you. Okay, so do yourself a favor.
It's not that I don't understand his words. It's that I just
taking more time now.
Yeah, you're just wasting everybody's time, dude.
Yeah.
I just want to. Why is it so hard to just repeat what he said?
You could go and take the. You could rewind the tape already.
Yeah, it's up to him, man.
Time now.
Right. At this point, you should be saying, "Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the time. I learned something. I disagree, but maybe I'll come back next time with something that actually proves my point." Okay. Maybe you could do that and do everybody else a favor. Get the fuck out.
That sounds like a restarter.
Or you can do like this. You can. I told you can look what is their position because they said. Man, sorry because of my language. It's a third language, English. I'm struggling. Is that okay for you?
It's fine. I just want
is it
clearly so I can understand.
Is it not understandable?
Local, don't be a jackass.
I don't care if you have a third language. I just want to understand it.
Man, I don't care what you have to say anymore. There is information what they gave you. Whatever
All right, cool.
You want
if you
to
don't care, then you don't need to speak.
Great. I will speak. Whatever you want to do with that information, it's on you. Because you can find out maybe these people are wrong. If you know their position, I hope that you were listening because you said, I want to find out their position. That means now you know the position. That means you can find out where they are wrong.
I do not know Jedi's position. No.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know.
Come on, man.
Okay, good.
Oh, come on.
The Jedi position is this.
Yeah, you can get the frick out of here.
If you go
this
to
guy's fucking stupid. Holy shit.
No, just cognitive.
Why is
Well,
Dave giving us even
do
one
we have
more
any
fucking
closing statements? You got 1 minute left, so let's hear your closing statements.
Yeah, hurry up.
Here we go.
His
Alright, my
closing
closing
statement
statement
is he can't
is
follow along and he has the attention span of
I
a
got
gnat.
paid $50
When you will
to
stop,
stay in this
my
channel for 2 hours,
Dipshit.
and I don't actually care what's going on here.
yeah, but
They
You
wasted
say
I
you got
tried.
paid to stay in this.
At
Hang
least,
on, hang on.
Yeah,
Hang
I got
on.
paid $50 to stay in this voice channel. That's
This
the
guy
entire
got
reason.
paid to come in here. Isn't that interesting? Well, now we know his motives. We all wasted our goddamn time.
Hey,
Okay, because
dunces.
he's just in here to spend time and spin the wheels and make some
The
dough.
main reason I did this mostly was just to save.
Yeah, you're a
only,
fucking cunt.
only
Get out of here.
people who are paying you need to teach you how to convert the feet in meters and stuff. You know.
Yeah, they should get their money back.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the main reason I did this.
Why you will leave this guy to speak? Even he wants to his show. You know, for example, on this server.
Okay, if you don't want to talk to him, then leave the chat. How about that? So the whole point of this place is to talk to these idiots.
Well, his main reason was he got paid.
It's not heresy.
To muddy the water. He thought he was going to dunk. He landed on his back.
Anyways,
not somehow.
If you don't want to talk, you can leave the VC.
No, it's not about
Yeah,
that.
because I would rather have us talking to a Glober, even if he has been here, running everybody around in circles and getting them to light their hair on fire for the last 4 hours. I mean, if you're tired of it, just leave.
Yeah, what I said. Anyways, so the reason I did this, and yes, I know it's a
You
really
wanted to
shitty
tell us
thing
how
to do.
science works?
And no, I don't actually believe in anything I just said. I don't actually give a shit about what's happening.
We can mute him and go to another Glober if one exists.
And the reason I did this
really care,
was
but-
so I could save everyone else's time from all of this.
Spit it out.
I don't know what
Spit it
the
out.
guy just said they didn't want to hear stupidity, so I saved him the trouble.
Okay. So you're a martyr then. Great job.
What's a martyr?
Have GPT write your closing
a martyr would
remarks
mean
next
that I had
time.
to have died for a good purpose.
Yeah, well, guess what? You basically died in here, or you killed everyone else. So maybe we're all martyrs. Holy
We'll forget
shit.
about you in about 4
I didn't know
seconds.
you could die to
Don't worry
words.
about it.
Sorry.
Is it that was final speech?
Don't take it too hard. It's just the internet. We all live lives. You could go outside, go for a walk,
Well,
take a deep
you
breath.
killed our time. Let's
Take a
put it
deep
that way. You
breath.
killed everybody's
Look at the
time.
sea. Look at
Good.
the sea level. Look at the sea level. Take a big.
I can't actually look at the sea. I'm inside my house right now.
Yeah, I know. Sea level, that's. Take a breath.
I'm looking at the sea level.
He short-circuited once he found out that water isn't curving at its surface. That's when he short-circuited.
Sea level on the sphere.
Then he started shouting, "No!
Actually,
the remix.
Water does curve, and I actually did give a thesis.
It does.
in the chat.
It does.
You're talking about your tears?
Well, yeah, it does. Because the
My
Earth is
tears. You're the
spherical.
one that's mad, my friend. You're the one complaining, not me.
Okay, you guys have been complaining about this guy. There's an opportunity now. Would you like to switch to Alfredus? We can switch off him. Let's just, yeah.
Anyways, yes.
Please,
I'll let you guys
horrible.
speak now. I got paid $50.
You tried.
I don't care.
You tried, buddy.
Okay, now that there's
I didn't have
another
to try.
Glober available, I don't care what you do with this one. Just keep it flowing with the Globers. That's all.
$50 to look foolish.
Yeah.
I'd say it's smart. It's free money.
Put a clown suit on, right? True capitalism. I respect that, but
Are
yeah.
you saying you wouldn't accept free money?
Hey, chill.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. I'd
4
say
hours
being
isn't free,
given
homeboy.
free money. It's been 2
That's what I'm
hours. not
saying.
4.
That's what I'm
Guys,
saying.
Well,
I do
actually,
respect
probably
it.
Alpha would like to talk to him. Why don't we just do that?
Oh, shit.
Whew.
I don't know. Man. Get $50.
I thought you had to go, man. He's still here.
Yeah, it's I finished, so I'm done.
He was lying.
Fucking hell.
I mean, I can show the PayPal receipt.
No one
No,
cares.
about having to go. That was a
Okay.
lie.
Dude,
It's
$50 means a lot
clear.
to you, then you got other problems.
No one really cares at this instance. It's just either shut up.
Not you, Jedi, but I know the Hossred Born guy does.
That's all.
No, I pity the fool.
He does. He
Yeah, I
cares a
pity the
lot.
fool.
Are
What are
we
you guys
moving
talking
on to
about?
something else, or is this now just attention seeking? This
That
is
means that
not your paid time.
I don't need
All right,
attention from you,
Alfredus.
Jedi. Sorry.
Alfredus, what's your claim? Bring it to the table, please and thank you.
My claim is that the Earth is a sphere spinning in the vacuum of space, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is the god of the round Earth as well. One of those claims is false.
Good.
Yeah, what's
Now
the
you can
evidence you
go.
have for the Earth being a globe, Alfredus?
Oh, gee.
What's that?
What's the evidence that you have for the Earth being a globe? Evidence, sir.
I mean, we can go over it all, but I would say like the most convincing evidence is well, first of all, let's start with the fact that there's like, almost 100 space agencies worldwide. I mean, it would be silly for them all to be colluding. Not just that, but
1 second, really quick. I don't know. Was my mic working the other minute? Did you guys hear me?
no.
I hear you
Okay,
now.
I thought so. Yeah,
Kind of.
this
now
this
I'm
local
hearing you.
politics furry guy has been in here for the last few hours. Alpha, you haven't talked to him before. You might want to, but anyway, that's all I was trying to say.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Alfredus. Yeah, let's belay that, man. We'll get back to you. I want to talk to the furry guy. Local politics furry. Are you
Oh
there?
boy.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Hey, man. Nice to meet you. Do you think the Earth's a globe?
Probably.
Well, that's suggestive. You don't know?
Not really. I don't really care. I got $50.
You got $50 and you don't care. It's like Jimmy Crackcorn. So
No,
if
not
you're
really.
not really. So you're not really too invested in any of the arguments that the Earth is a globe. You really don't care.
No, I really don't really give a shit. I was given $50 to just to minge. That was about it.
For what?
That's like a day's worth of Hot
Because
Pockets.
they didn't want their words. They didn't want your guys' stupidity to flood out of the server.
Who's
So I spent
they?
2 hours
What?
with you guys
Who's?
time.
Wait, whoa! What's going on? Well, what are you talking about, man?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what is this flooding out of the server? I don't know. What are you talking
He was
about?
paid to gum up the works.
That's
And then he
just
came in
their
here and
words.
cried.
I don't know what they mean by that. That's just their words.
Who?
That's
Whose words?
Alex, the guy who got banned from the
The
VCs.
guy who got banned gave you
Yeah.
$50.
This is Cap. This is Cap.
What did he give you
let's
50
wait
bucks
I
for
can show
one
you the
from the.
receipts. I can show you the receipts if you want.
Local. I don't know what's going on, dude. He gave you 50 at Fry. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what Local's saying. Alex gave Local $50 for what?
Yeah.
For what?
To stay here for 2 hours and binge.
And what? And
To
binge?
Minge.
Like they said, gum up the works.
Oh, how is this possible? I don't even know. What has he done? Has he done that?
That was his intention. He exposed how desperate the globe myth is. He shouted no every time reality was pointed out to him. He said no.
He came in here to get a rise out of you guys. That's why he came in here.
I got $50, and I'm going to accept the 50. Are you saying you wouldn't accept $50? Come on, be honest with me. Would you not accept free money?
Who cares
What
about
are you giving
$50,
him
man?
I do. I
$50
like money.
for?
Money's fun.
I don't care. Like, so do you have any part to play in the conversation of how you know the Earth's a globe?
Nope.
What say you?
Wait, what are you giving him
I do
50
not have
bucks
any
for?
power. I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't care.
Okay, so you have you can't even think logically about the question. I mean, you have your own mind. You can think about this like if you really wanted to.
If it's about arguing for or against the Earth, whether or not it's a sphere or plane, I don't really care.
Why?
Because it doesn't affect my personal life.
Yeah, it
Why
does.
should I?
When they tell you
How?
a narrative, that there's a meteor that's going to kill the planet, or the planet's dying, resources are limited, overcrowded populations, stuff like that. It's affecting you because you think you live on a planet that's overpopulated. It's dying.
I don't care about overpopulation. It's also not dying.
Climate change, you name it. All of it's tied into the idea that you live on a floating rock.
Cool. That's cool. I really could give less of a shit. I
Okay.
don't care about humanity or anyone here.
Well,
$50
yeah.
$50.
So what made you so distant to
He only
humanity?
cares
Like,
about $50.
why don't you care for the
Because
conversation?
we're gonna die anyway. like in the next 200, 300 years. So what's the point?
The point is that the truth is what we're speaking of in this channel, and if you have no part to play,
what would the point of talking about the truth if we're just going to die anyway?
Yeah,
like who's going to hear the truth?
What's that viewpoint when everything's just evil and bad, and you're just going to die? Everyone's going to die. There's a certain word for it. Like there's a type of viewpoint. Anyway.
What's the point of having a job and a family and a house if you're just going to die anyway?
That's a fatalist point of view.
Well, that's different because you see, I need that to actually have a living. So
He's
how
a
does a
self-centered worm fatalist.
give me a living?
It's a fatalist. I like that. That's the word I was looking for. But either way, local. I don't know what they paid you $50 for. You didn't accomplish your goal.
No, I did. What's happening right now is my goal being accomplished.
No, I mean we're talking to people so they can spark the interest of like why individuals such as yourself. You're basically just now content for everybody else. They're wondering why people like you don't have any part to play in the conversation. Like why? Why?
Because I don't care about it. I'm not interested in it.
You really are because you're here.
Yeah, I'm here because I got paid to be here.
That's not the only reason. That's a fake reason.
The only reason.
He doesn't realize how desperate this act
I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, you don't realize how desperate the act is, bro.
Yeah, we
everybody. You don't understand the damning nature of what you've done.
You called me a paid actor.
Yeah, we know. Local. So
have you heard of Flat Earth before this $50?
I have. I didn't care about it though.
Okay.
So we know that people such as yourself say they don't care, and they really do. Their subconscious is like keeping them here. So you're not just here for $50. You really want to hear conversations between people that think the Earth is flat.
Keeping me here?
Can you Can you just tell people the Earth is
so
flat?
I have
this
this
is
like
if you don't care.
innate
This is
thing
a cope.
to care about who you are as a person when I've never met you before in my entire life. And you're just a stranger.
It's innate in all people to
All
feel
right,
this
so
way.
if you died and I didn't go to your funeral, would that disprove your point?
No, what I'm saying is you care about the argument, not about the person. Like you want to know
I don't.
more.
I
You're
don't care about the
curious.
argument though. I really don't care.
If you didn't, $50 wouldn't matter to you. But like, I don't want to be there for $50. I don't care
$50
about this
is
either way.
$50. It's
Oh.
free money.
But that's not a good
Yeah,
thing
cope
because if you get
harder.
$50, it doesn't matter. You're dying tomorrow anyway. So like, why
Okay.
even worry about it?
Cool.
You know,
If
like
you-
the fatalist
You
point of
making
view.
a fool
I
of
can get,
yourself
like-
for 2 hours is
I can
work.
get like
It's not
4
free.
sandwiches with this.
Go get your sandwiches in, man.
I mean, it's essentially free. Like, what
that's
even
great.
are you doing?
Local,
Essentially
that's great.
free now.
Yeah,
No, you
it
blabbered
is
on for
essentially
2
free.
hours like a moron.
It's
Everybody
free to
knows.
tell everybody the Earth is
It's
flat.
very easy
Just
to
go,
lead
everybody.
you guys
Yeah,
on.
the clowns
It's
at the
not
circus
hard.
tell them they work. Yeah, the clowns at the circus, some of them probably say, "Wow,
You're
I'm a
proving my
clown.
point. You're mad.
I'm a
You're
clown."
mad,
So
and
no,
now
bro,
you're
I
saying
pity
it
the
doesn't
fool.
work, but you're proving
I
it to me
pity
right
the
now. That's
fool.
mad.
Local.
Here's the funny thing.
All you gotta
I
do,
pity
man.
you.
All you gotta do is just sit here and listen. You don't have to participate, but then your curiosity will be satisfied when you hear us having conversations with other people, and they can't present the evidence that the Earth is a globe, and then you'll be like starting to think about it. We're planting seeds, whether you think that we're doing or not. You're not. Listen, we're not in here with you.
You're
in here
struggling
with
big.
us. You're in here with us, local. We're not in here with you.
Oh
It's
god.
the opposite.
The Team Fortress
It's
2
the
soldier line.
opposite. You're here, but you don't know why. You think that it's for $50 and it's not. Subconsciously, what's going to
I'm
happen?
so intimidated.
Yeah, you're not intimidated. What you are is curious, and what you're doing right now
Oh,
is a cope.
yeah, no,
This is a
I'm
cope.
very curious. I actually do
I know.
want to know what's happening.
I
Totally.
know. See, that's the thing. See, be honest.
Yeah,
and
I
honesty is the
know,
best
right?
policy. No. So all you got to do is sit here, listen, and then we'll talk to somebody else like Alfredus, and then we'll get into the conversation, and then you can hear what he has to say.
So
if he has any
real.
evidence for the Earth being a globe.
Yeah, so real.
Yeah.
And whether you say so or not, and you walk out here, oh, those guys are crazy. We planted a seed in your mind.
No, I don't care if you're crazy or not. Like, it doesn't affect my personal life at all.
Yep. Words
I don't give a shit.
actually matter. Local words matter.
They do? Not really.
Yep. You carry them. This is an experience in your life, and you carry this experience
This
whether
is
you want
I'm
to or not.
going to forget this day
No,
like
you're
tomorrow.
not. I guarantee
You're gonna
you
go
won't.
cry about this
Promise
day.
you won't.
I
promise
guarantee
you
you I
won't.
will.
Nope. The Earth is flat and stationary. Local. That is
Cool.
true.
Yep.
And it's measured that way. It's observed that way. It's measured that way.
Yep.
And it's practically used that way local.
Yep.
You have demonstrated a gnat-like attention span, so it wouldn't really surprise me.
You already got.
I mean, I genuinely don't care.
all right,
I don't know
Ozzy.
why he think I'm not an Aussie.
You already got the $50, and now
Ozzy
you're arguing for
Osbourne,
free.
dingus. Ozzy Osbourne. I.
Yeah. All right.
Listen,
So
bro.
you do have the $50. You do have the $50.
You're
local.
the guy that lives
Hold on,
in.
Local. You do have the $50
Tell me where I
on
live,
your
you fucking moron.
local. You do have the
You live in
$50 on you right now.
magical
Hold on,
little
guys.
flatland.
Hold on. Local. You do have the $50, right?
I got the $50. Yes, I'm going.
Okay. Now the next question is, why are you still here? After you got paid.
Arguing for free.
Why I'm still here because I'm talking to you.
Yeah, go get sandwich number one.
So this has nothing to do with
Just
money
let Alpha
anymore.
on, please. Just hold on.
Yeah, guys. This has nothing to do with money anymore, is it?
You're gonna keep muting me though.
Yeah,
I
because
can't,
other
like,
people were talking
explain.
and then you started interrupting. So yeah, I have to. All right. So
Well,
now that
no,
was just
because
me
you
and
start asking me questions. I mean, I'm waiting for Alfredos to talk wherever the hell.
I know, but after you got paid, do you wonder why you're still here? You're still with us. You haven't left. You got your money. You could have been like, okay, cool. I got paid. I can leave now. But now you're not leaving. So why are you still here?
Because you're still asking me questions.
Excellent. So you're here on your own free will, of your own accord. That has nothing to do with you getting paid anymore, is it?
Okay, I don't care.
You do, because you're still here and you're gonna listen. So now all you gotta do is simple. Put yourself on mute. When I unmute you from server, just put yourself on a white mic and then listen to Alfredus. Then you can hear other people have conversations and so on. That's easy.
Why are you muting me?
Because you don't know how to stop talking when it's time for me to talk.
Okay. So why are you muting me?
I just gave you the reason. Didn't you hear
It's
what I
not a
just said?
valid reason. Give me.
It is. I'll do it again. See, when I mute you, you stop talking, then I can proceed to talk without your interruptions. Now you can listen to us have a conversation with other people, and you can sit here for free without getting paid. And now you can listen of your own accord with you asking the question, "Why am I here? I don't know. I'm not getting paid now." It's of your own accord. Thank you. Now
So
put yourself
because
in a
it's
white
on
mic.
my own.
Yeah, just put yourself in a white mic. I don't need to hear any more explanations. We've said what we said. Put yourself on a white mic and let's talk to Alfredus. That simple. I don't want to keep server muting you. It's no reason for that.
Waiting. Just continue.
Hurry. Go ahead. White mic, sir. Or red one. Either one is fine with me.
I can't put myself on the red mic. I don't have perms.
No. Mute yourself locally. You can do that. Everybody can.
But you said you gave.
Locally, sir. You know what that means? That means that you have the ability to put yourself on mute. Yeah? You can do that. Come on now.
Ray,
boy,
mic
let's
yourself.
go.
You gave.
Yeah, I gave you the option. Red mic or white mic. You can make the choice. When I unmute you, if you don't mute, I'll just keep you on a red one. This is the last time. Go ahead, sir.
So,
all right.
Can I ask a question?
Nope. Well, ask a question. Does it have to do about flat Earth?
It actually does. I actually do have one question
Excellent.
about flat Earth.
Yeah, what's your question?
Just one. So, and I do. This has actually been a curiosity of mine.
I know.
For a while.
I know. I study people and I know when they're lying, and you were, and now you're honest. So go ahead. Ask your question.
What is the flat Earth?
The flat Earth is what we talk about when we say, does the Earth, how do we observe the Earth? How do we measure the Earth? And how is the Earth demonstrated practically? So flat Earth is very much how the Earth represents itself to us in the physical and natural world. So when we make our observations locally, we can see the Earth not displaying itself looking like a globe, but indeed a flat topographical horizontal plane. That's observationally. You can agree with me on that because most people that believe that the Earth is a globe will agree on that point. Locally, the Earth does look flat. So you could at least on that specific point agree with me, correct? Observationally, looks that way to you?
Well, I've never observed it, so I wouldn't know.
Yes, you have. Let's be honest with ourselves, local. Because people that actually, you can be obtuse. It doesn't matter.
I don't live near a beach.
Listen, here's what else. You don't have to. But looking upon the Earth, it doesn't matter where you are. you can see when it extends for miles and miles that it doesn't look like it has any curvature. It looks like it's got land topography, hills, valleys, mountains, all that good stuff, but it doesn't look like it's curving in any way. There's no curvature of the Earth that's noticed by you locally. Observationally, in a local perspective, it looks like it's a flat Earth. You can agree with me, that's fine. You don't if you say you don't have to agree with me, but people that think that the Earth is a globe will all say the same thing. Locally, it looks that way, but it's not that way because it's a globe. But you can say locally it does seem that way, observationally, right?
So if I look in the distance, and it doesn't seem globally,
right,
then it's flat?
Of course. If there's no curvature that's detected, then the Earth isn't what they're telling you and me, which is an oblate spheroid of a specific size. Now they're giving us the set dimensions on Google. You can look them up for the radius and the diameter and circumference. They're telling us these metrics, so we have the information to look at like how big the Earth would be as a globe. And according to these metrics, we can then pit them against reality and then kind of compare. Well, what should I see from looking at a long distance? So a long distance could give us kind of a variable of how much curvature there should be within the amount of line of sight that we're using.
Hold on. I need to show this guy the fucking PayPal screenshot of me having $50. Give me a moment.
Yeah, so are you gonna talk to me or are you gonna do other things? Because I can talk to somebody else local.
Huh? Oh no, you can talk.
No, but if I'm not getting your attention, I'd rather talk to somebody else. I need your full attention.
Then talk to someone else.
Okay. Well, just put yourself on a white mic while we do that, because I don't need background noise to disturb anybody else that's talking.
Hold on,
if you don't mind.
I have.
Or you can have a red one. All right. So we got who's the other guy? Did he leave? Darn it. We got Dr. Day, whatever your name is. Welcome. We got Carter in the chat. If you think that the Earth is a globe, go ahead and chime in, guys. We'll have a conversation with you. Sep. Welcome.
What happened to Alfredus?
He dipped out the back door.
Okay.
He dipped. Alfredo dipped.
Oh, yeah. We got the Bollywood star jumping in right now, making his appearance.
All right, so I'm a flat earther, but there's
Excellent.
one thing I can't wrap my head around.
What's that, sir?
So if the
The
sun
Earth?
rises in the east and sets in the west, how is it start in the east again?
How does it start in the east? Well, we
Yeah.
understand that the sun is working on a cyclical nature. How it proceeds in that cyclical nature over the course of the year is not being able to be seen entirely. What we do know is that in the north, it seems to have a circular path above someone's head. So if you go far north, there are certain places where you can see the sun be like a midnight sun, so it doesn't set. So that is visible, and one could infer that overall the sun makes a circular path, but one couldn't know that for sure. So the path of the sun may look that way in the north, but to infer that's what it does overall would be a logical leap, and it's just like a speculation sort of thing. But for the most part, we could say that in the north it looks like it makes a circular path. So it could have a cyclical nature in a circle, but at the same time it could probably be doing something else entirely. But what we can say is that it does have a cyclical nature. It has a cycle that repeats. So might not be the answer you're waiting for, but that is the one that we can detail from just basic observations. But either way, that shouldn't be hard for you to have an explanation for, because we're just talking about what we see. Now, if it's difficult because you think that the globe presents something better, then I would ask you, in what way would it be better? Because in no way does looking at the sky tell what the geometric shape of the Earth is in any way.
Well, I agree on that.
Right. So, we're just going on based on what we see in the sky, and all we see is what's happening to the sun from different people in geographic locations. But we can't tell you what the sun's path is if we're like looking from a top-down view, or you know what I mean, like a zoomed out version.
Yeah.
Kind of an
What
orthographic
about
view.
stars? Like, do they move?
Absolutely. Our observation from Earth is that the stars are in motion. They move from east to west, just like every heavenly body does. Everything moves from east to west, sir.
Okay.
In a cyclical nature. So there are repeated cycles that happen every year, and it happens over and over again. Nothing mysterious about that. These things have been cataloged for thousands of years. So the
I
reason
mean,
why we know.
I could go outside
go
and
ahead.
stare at the sky for like 3 hours, and stars are in the same spot.
They're not, sir. They're moving.
It's
Stars are
not
moving.
observable to me.
It's because you're looking at it through a length of time. If you're standing there, you don't notice that. But if you have what is called an equatorial mount, it does. The stars they do have motion, just like the moon and the sun. Same thing. This is true. I'm not that. There's no reason for me to like tell you something that's not true. It's observable, man. Everybody knows this, or should. Do you doubt that? Day?
I mean, I
It's okay
can't.
if you do,
I
man.
can't tell with my naked eye.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
know.
know that.
It's fine. It's fine that you can't tell with your naked eye because it's happening really slowly over a length of period of time. But it does occur. Stars do move.
In 3 hours, you can't tell what. Look at the moon. In 3 hours, you can see that it. Look at the stars.
Well, I know the sun and moon moves.
But
I'm
the
not
stars-
denying
Yeah,
that.
so
but
do
the
the
stars seem to not move.
They
No,
do
the
move
same.
during.
I mean,
They do.
they might. I was just saying.
No, they do.
observably,
They do, bro. Like, you have to. Okay, there's got to be some way that you can look through a telescope and make sure that the telescope is looking at a star, and like fix the telescope to where it doesn't move, like it's really still. Look at the star, and I guarantee you, after a while, the star will move out of that telescope's position. You won't be able to see it anymore.
Especially in 3 hours.
Yeah, definitely in 3 hours. You won't see it in the same telescope. You know what I mean? Like if you affix a telescope in one locked position, you keep looking at the star, it's not going to be there in 3 hours. It'll move.
Okay.
It ain't even going to be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah. What's up, Indio?
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing much.
Yeah, the field of view in the telescope is so narrow that you won't even see it for like after 5 minutes. It'll be gone. Not even 5 minutes. It takes seconds, literally.
Dude, we had a badass X space.
I know. I listened to it, man.
Did you hear it? Well,
Fucking pisses me off. I wasn't there. Dude, I'm listening to it and I'm thinking I'm in a space. I want to say something. I go to unmute myself. I'm like, fuck, this is recording.
Dude, it was so great, man. We had P-Dubs and Blurf Herder. They spiraled out of control. They both said that they don't have any evidence. P-Dubs.
I missed the part. I don't know what happened. I mean, I missed the part where they said that. I think because I had my phone in my pocket, I think it skipped ahead or something. But I did hear you talking about that they admitted it. Was it in that space or a previous space?
It was that space. Oh, and by the way, there's someone scrubbing my spaces, bro. Like they're erasing them. Like
I
there's
heard
some
you
that
say
are.
that too. Like, what the f is up with that shit?
I don't know, but the esoteric flat earthers aren't getting their spaces scrubbed, but mine are.
Yo, AV. On that note, if I may interject, don't you have the ability on X, especially on your side, because like you own the space? Don't you have the ability to download the MP3s or something?
I believe so, but where would I store them at? That's the problem.
On your computer?
I mean, first and foremost, yeah, just back them up because
aren't they huge files? Like I'm
They're
gonna
not audio. Not audio.
Not
the audio. So check this out. A 12-hour audio will be something like, I don't know, depending on the how they store it, like the quality of the audio. It could be between 300 megabytes and 800 megabytes. So
Oh,
that's
that's not too bad. That's not bad at
yeah.
all.
On that, you can also compress it, right? There's like technically, like for storage, you just compact it more. You can't really listen to it directly like that, but you can uncompact it later if you want to listen to it. But for storage, you save some space that way. Like there's techniques that if you ever want to go down that route and explore, I can help you out. I'm pretty sure other people could, but
Yeah, I
especially
think I
not.
need that.
Isn't Helio streaming them anyway?
He is. He was streaming yesterday's episode, so we have all of yesterday's episode on his stream.
And I know he captured other ones, so you can just download that too and extract the audio. It's not really.
Yeah, and Brenda was asking where it was being downloaded at. I think Brenda. I don't know. Maybe Brenda's the culprit. I don't have no idea. Because Brenda was the first one
Who
on.
fucking knows, man? They're slimy, dude. I had my account flagged as a bot account, dude.
Seriously?
Then I also had my account flagged for engagement farming. Yeah, dude. Like I appealed it, and obviously they flipped it, but it's just they're ridiculous.
They need to give me my shit back.
And on that, man, like to be honest, if you're gonna rely on like a YouTube stream to stay up, if they're deleting you off X, like who's to say they won't delete you off YouTube?
I need to upload my shit to Rumble. Just have it all on Rumble. Fuck it.
You could do that too.
They're deleting the space, so it's like you can record the space, and then they're deleting it by reporting it retroactively.
Yep, that is what's happening. And every time I check, one of them's missing. Like, yeah, it's crazy, dude. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention it.
I haven't found like a good. There's got to be a way to like download the space, but I think in app, in Twitter itself, only the host can download the space. But there's got to be. I've tried to download spaces from like these websites and say, hey, you can use this website to download space. The spaces I try to download are like too big, so they're like, no, we're not going to download that for you. So I don't know. I haven't tried it with I have an app called JDownloader. I haven't tried it with that yet. Maybe I'll try it right now. Stand by.
We got any Globers in the chat? And Globers.
And at any rate, man, there's nothing beats good old cold storage. You know.
I don't know if they're scrubbing them. What they're doing is you know how like if you look at my profile, I don't know if you've seen my profile on Next, but they're shrinking because you know how it shows that little purple image where it shows like what space you're doing. Well, they're just taking that away, but it's turned into a link. So I've just checked right now. I have 10, 11 from 10 to like 13. 13 shows up as a little purple image, but 11 and 12 they're links. You have to click a link that's on my profile, which I never had to do that in the first place.
But what about before 10? So like 1 to 10. They're not there?
Yeah, there's 1 through 6 I think is scrubbed.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I have episode 8.
Probably not like on another page. You just gotta like expand a little thing or click an arrow. Or...
Yeah. That's I think. Yeah, I do have them. But they're links. They're links. So I don't know.
Could be a UI thing, like just the page is all fucked up.
Yeah, whatever. 60. It looks like they're on here, but I don't know.
They're not presentable or visually appealing enough. Like, let me click on this purple thing because it looks cool.
Yeah, it's not like that. It doesn't appear that way.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, 1 through 6 I think is scrubbed.
Have you filed a complaint with anybody? And what are they telling you?
Yeah, that's the thing though. Who are you gonna complain to? You know? Like, who do I complain to? That's the other thing.
Good
I
point.
submitted a ticket to X and be like, dude, my stuff is scrubbed. Oh yeah, what's going on? Well, I'm doing flat Earth spaces, and well, how many of them you got?
Yeah, that's true.
Let's look into your stuff. Oh, sorry, you can't have this content. No. That's all right. Okay. Yeah.
I would try to make an appeal to have my stuff released back to me, even if it is that. Be bold.
Give me my shit.
Exactly.
Don't you own the rights to it?
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
How did it all finish up last night, Alpha? My talking about Elon Musk, my Starlink let me down.
Your Starlink let you down? Nah, it was good, man. We went out strong with 75 people in the morning. Not to mention who else was on YouTube. So we were like bumping with like at least 80 to 75 back and forth.
Yeah, the last time I was listening, there was probably about that amount. And then, all my internet just switched off and I couldn't get it to work again. I had to reset it and mess around with it. And then by the time it got back on, you guys had finished.
What's your X name?
AV_overdrive.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you guys show up, listen, anybody that shows up, I'm trying to promote everybody's accounts that are on here. The 24/7 team, I'll promote your account. Like if you're up on the speaking panel, I will make sure to make a note because I do little plugs in between, like when I'm doing the show, plugs for everybody's account that's a speaker, so that it can get your follow count up. Your follow count has to be above 500 if you're going to monetize, like for content. I think everybody should have a monetized platform in case you want to do something so that your time is worth your money. You know, like if you're going to be doing something monetarily and you're promoting, if you're doing content for Flat Earth, yeah, that'd be great. People can support you. You can be your own, like, content creator and such. I think everybody has that capability. Like at one point, I think everybody should have that. AJ should have one. Flatsy, everybody's like, we're all our own individual characters. And I think everybody should, like Indio, he should have like his own. And then when we come together, it's like the all-star cast. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what. Because these, bro, I mean, these ex-flat earthers, I don't know, man. It's kind of questionable. Like the other
even
guy,
the Globers, man.
you remember
I got
the
about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, AJ, remember the guy that yesterday that was talking about satellites, like asking the guy, and he comes into the flat Earth like room, like, aren't you wanting to grill that guy? And you were just like, dude, bro, we're not talking about like, they want to talk about things that are not like conducive to getting people to realize whether the Earth is like a globe or not. It's satellites and space and the fuck.
Yeah, I got about 40 messages from that other guy. Apparently, he's a pretty prolific glober on X. And I went back and forth with him for quite a while, and I was challenging him to come into the room. I offered 3 of them in the end. I said, mate, all 3 is, and me on my own. We'll clear it out. We'll give you the time to speak. Let's do it. And then it just turned into abuse about flat earthers. They couldn't go any further. This is all in regards to that final experiment. They're telling me it's a final experiment because they can use time as an independent variable. And oh my God, they're off their guts, yeah. And it just turned into a big abuse about flat earthers in the end. So I cut it, but they wouldn't come in the room or in the space.
Wait, what happened?
Oh. Clipcord came through for us, man. Clipcord is the man. Now, Flatsy was talking about Clipcord last night. It was like Clipcord should be in here getting these clips. He did that. He put it in the text channel right now. It's what is it? 15 seconds, Clipcord? I'm downloading it. I think that's the one that P-Dubs and Flurf Herder said that They just believe the Earth is a globe. That was for I don't know if Indio's still around, but that's the clip.
Yeah, I'm here and trying to download space. I'm just mucking, trying to.
Yeah,
I want the whole thing, dude.
Yeah, I should start downloading them, man. To be honest, if they don't take up that much space. Or you know what, man? I wish I could just upload them to the cloud.
That's what I'm trying to.
That'd be
That's what
better.
I'm trying to figure out how much space they take. So.
Can
I was
anybody play?
disappointed with Flurf Herder's answer. I thought he'd have come with a bit more fire than that.
Can anybody play a clip on the text channel, like through their speaker, their microphone, so we can all hear it? If anybody has the ability to do that.
Over what?
Like, I think you can, Mick. Like, if you play the clip that's on the chat right now, like put it through your microphone. So.
Oh, maybe. I'll play it there. But the volume's kind of low, and I'm not sure if the microphone is like programmed to kind of like to snuff out whatever's coming through the speaker into the microphone. Hold on, let me try it. Let me know if you hear it.
Appreciate you, man.
The way I'm downloading 388 megabytes.
Oh shit, that ain't nothing for 7 hours, 9 or was it 8 hours?
Yeah, we'll see how it comes out. I mean, I'm downloading it, so we'll see.
All right, let me play it again. Then
might be fucked up. Who knows? Like, let me. It's a work in progress.
I'll play it again quickly. There. Let me know if you hear it. Hold on. Playing in 3, 2, 1.
I don't hear anything, Mick.
Yep, nope.
No.
Nada.
Fuck. Too bad.
We don't have a bot in here. We need a freaking bot. Oh, we have the DJ role. Can't we use that DJ bot that they gave us a role for?
Someone should be able to play it and do a share screen. I can't do it. I'm in the car on my phone. But
you know, I'm all set up. I got everything installed to actually pipe the audio through, but I just haven't like set up and tested it. There's something called Virtual Audio Jack, which will so you can pipe audio around your computer from one app into another through the mic or whatever. But I just haven't set it up yet. Be all pain in the ass.
I'll do it. You ready?
The thing is, right? You could easily just come forward and say that you don't know that the Earth is a globe. You just believe it. You could just easily say that. Everybody would be fine with that. Everybody would. All you got to do is say it.
Yeah, stand on business.
I did. I said I didn't know earlier.
Oh, okay. There you go. Lycurgus. Lycurgus. Did you hear that? Lycurgus. Lycurgus was actually wanting him to say that for the longest time. And it was weird because the moment that he did say it, he was busy doing something else. He came back on the mic. He was like, "What happened? What happened?" I'm like, bro, you missed it, dude. Like, fucking Flurf Herder just said he doesn't know. Like, and he argues vehemently in the text channels with these guys. Like never. He doesn't concede any points. Like, he sounds like he knows what he only asks. Like, he does a gimmick. Like when Flurf Herder's on, he'll only want to know like how you can tell him that the Earth is flat. Like, that's it. He doesn't want to switch to him telling you how the Earth is a globe at all. So the moment he did this was like it was a miracle that we got him to say that. Like, so.
Yeah, and that was pretty good quality, Quiet Noobs. Thank you for that.
Shit, dude, what are you, Quiet Noobs? What are you using, dude? That shit was like crisp.
A blue snowball.
Fuck's sake, dude. I have a Blue Yeti and it doesn't even sound like that.
It sounds like a drug, man.
A Blue Yeti.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you got some of those Blue Yetis?
No, the blue snowball, man.
Oh, blue snowball.
Snowball tonight.
Hey, man, I've got about a 20 of.
I did a blue snowball and it turned me into a concave Earth.
Hey, have you heard that there's a wave of flat earthers turning to concave? What the fuck, bro?
Yes, I just tried to like debate one, and they wouldn't fucking make me a speaker. Yesterday, I didn't even know they were concavers. I thought they were globers. So I'm wrecking them in the chat, in the messages, in the text messages. But yesterday they were like, "Oh, join a space tomorrow." Like, okay. Tomorrow comes, here it is. Hey, space. One dude starts the space, the other dude's supposed to join. Dude just goes on monologues, never freaking makes you a speaker, just says, "I'm just gonna waste your time." Literally, dude. Literally said, "I made this space just to waste your time." After inviting me to a space to talk about what I thought was flat Earth versus globe, but he was a concaver. I'll take that up too. It don't matter to me.
Hell yeah, all day.
Man, what the hell's their argument about the concave thing? I don't get it. Curving upward? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Their excuse is that the horizon rises up as you rise up, therefore we're concave. That's their main point.
Bro,
really?
And then
perspective. That's perspective, bro. Like, that's fucked up.
The same as the globe model. They've got
AJ, you're
robot,
you're
blah,
robot,
blah, blah.
So theoretically,
the
if
reason
refraction,
state they
theoretically,
go across there is because it, yeah. And they say that it's the closest model to the globe model that can explain everything with stars.
What?
So okay. So theoretically,
that's what they said, dude. I've heard
so
it.
if refraction brings, if refraction brings,
if you can travel to the stars. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll go next.
If refraction brings the horizon up and you can see beyond it because of refraction, correct? What if? Well, no. This is what they're claiming, that you can see beyond the horizon because of refraction, the physical horizon. So, if we zoom in beyond what we can see at the physical horizon to the observable horizon, how far can we zoom with the refraction?
Okay, so I have a question. What is the horizon on a concave Earth?
Should be the leading edge of the curve. The leading edge of the upward curve.
But the sky should actually be the Earth, right? Because you're inside the Earth.
Well, technically, you can't see that far because of the fact that the upwards curvature is going to block your view.
Oh no, but that upwards curvature of what? Ground, right? So you're gonna see like your boat. Like, remember I said like horizon, either you see sky or ground. Like, what different? Like, why are you not seeing ground forever? I understand when you look up, there's a giant freaking black sphere. That's fine, but when you look horizontally, straight out, there ain't no black sphere there, right?
I don't know how they square that, Indio. I don't know how they square it. It's fucked, dude.
What the heck is a horizon on a concave Earth?
Dude, like that's the beginning. That's the beginning of their problems.
Think about it.
It's the beginning of their problems. Like, how do you know how like the globers say that the sun goes below 0 degrees? Like, how the fuck does that work for the concave earthers? How does the sun set on a concave Earth?
Wait, does that mean that would that mean that AJ and T-Dub are standing on top of me instead of through the ground below me?
No, you're looking up to see them.
That's what I mean. Yeah, so they're upside down hanging above me.
Yeah, like bats on a cave. Yep.
Well, also the sky would curve up, right? So the sky's curving upward to conform to, like, say it's whatever their black ball in the sky is, right? Say it's equidistant from their concave Earth, right? They're inside a spherical shell, and then they have a sphere inside of that. So I'm assuming that the edge of that is equidistant from the inside. So that black sphere is curving up, right? How can you have any perspective? How would perspective work if you're looking at a giant ball curving up, dude? It can't converge to the horizon because as it converges, right, the ball is curving upward, right? So it's actually getting further away so it can't converge. The sky would look flat, I guess, or something like that.
Oh
Hey,
my goodness! I just got it. I got it.
Necros put the picture in
The-
there for everybody. That's what it looks
the
like.
horizon on a concave Earth is where the ground appears to meet the sphere in the sky.
Huh?
Oh my god.
The sphere in the sky.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be in the sky too? Wouldn't the horizon be in the sky?
Oh,
I
it's
guess. I don't know.
it's too. It's crazy, dudes.
But I don't mind this. I don't mind this theory. Yeah, you guys just keep looking up to me and T-Dubs over here.
Yeah, you guys, listen. You guys
I'm
have
waving at you right
claws.
now, waving at the sky, waving at you right now, man.
You
Hi.
guys have fucking claws for feet because you're hanging upside down like bats on a cave, bro. That's what we know.
I'm Batman.
My god.
Fucking.
So does this mean that? Does this mean that the concave Earth is still spinning, and that's why everybody's
Yes.
being pushed to the?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that, right? Because if this way they have the
spinning Earth,
like it's sort of the centrifugal.
hold on. Hold on. It doesn't. The black ball could be spinning, man. I'm okay. The black ball could be spinning. The Earth could be stationary.
It's going to depend on who you're talking to.
I heard that
Because
the Earth is the one that's spinning.
it's the celestial sphere that spins. And the sun is fixed on a portion of that celestial sphere. The moon is fixed on a portion.
The fuck?
And so,
Okay,
as the celestial sphere spins, the sun and the moon travel, and along with the rest of the stars in the sky, they spin. Depending on who you're going to talk to, there's a force coming from the celestial sphere that pushes out, which is from the center, right? And that force pushes you to the ground.
So it sounds almost as if not more convoluted than the globe Earth, but inverted. So I guess even in their neck of the woods, they don't even all internally agree.
So
right?
you can have ether and concave Earth.
Hold on, man. Because now, like that. How does that work? Because they think that the black sun celestial sphere thing is projected by the pyramids.
Yep, that's what I heard.
So, like, how does that work? How can that be spinning?
Black
Because then it's
hole sun.
because the orientation of that, like, how is it making the stars on the other side of that black ball? Does it go through the ball? Like
it's too fucking wonky. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to put the other clip on there. Check this out, Indio. Clipcord found it and clipped it. Quiet News. Can you do me a favor, brother? Can you play that next clip?
Yeah.
Hey, check this out, guys. I'm gonna mute up. This is P-Dubs.
And by the way, God bless you quiet noobs. I never hear you in here. Here you are.
Yeah,
Thank you.
shout out quiet noobs, man.
I'm gonna definitely want to do it because if anybody talks, it's gonna go through the speaker here.
Very esoteric, and nobody's really talking about evidence. That's what gets you kind of like saying the things that you do. But the fact that you've said that you don't know, that is a huge win for critical thinking, bro. At least on your side. You know, P-Dubs, he wouldn't say that. The guy is a staunch Glober, man. He wouldn't say.
Actually, I came up here just to say that.
No, bullshit.
You're just soapboxing for half an hour.
That's
You won't follow
lying.
it anyway.
That's lying. When have you ever said that?
I'm literally here to say everything I know about the globe is totally based on presupposition and trusting authorities, and on experimentation I've never done. And so everything I know about the globe is fake. So please tell me about how you know the Earth is flat.
OMG, brothers, we got like.
Are you going to do it, or are you
real?
going to talk about? Are you going to talk about me saying that?
I feel like the space has the.
I remember that.
Whoop whoop.
Dude, but that part where he said everything I know about the globe is fake. You don't know anything. You just admitted it that you don't actually know anything about the globe. It can't be fake.
Dude, these are fucking gems, dude. Like, you put these fucking sound clips in your back pocket because fucking.
Dude, I'm downloading that right now.
Yeah,
Are you doing this? Are you doing this space tonight?
Hell yeah, bro.
You are?
And
Dude, you and your midnight hours, man.
Yeah, even if that guy was tongue in cheek there, like it was cut out quick, sort of like what they do, right? They kind of get you to say something, then they clip it, and it's quote unquote out of context. Well, here, it could be argued that taking him out of context, but fuck it, like.
No,
I don't know.
I don't want gotchas, right? So I actually heard somebody that debates another topic like we don't do the gotchas over here. He says we want your academic level best freaking arguments, right? We're not trying to do these low tier gotchas, low IQ bullshit, right? You know, slow boy shit. We're not doing that. We want your best shit, and we're gonna clip that.
Yeah, I wasn't even looking for this fucking soundbite. Like, I was honestly telling him that he's not up here for intellectual discussion. So the moment that he said that, look, dude, and that's what he said when all this little soundbite was about. Like, he took it that I was like, that's why I even said, I was like, bullshit, dude. You're not up here to tell me that you don't, you believe that the Earth is a globe. You think that it? No, he was like, no, like that's what he. So I can only take it. It wasn't tongue in cheek. It was like what his literal position.
It is what he said, Yeah, it is pretty clear. It is what he said, especially after what you were, prefixing it with. Though, like, it did sound to me like he was just trying to say something to appease you, so you can get on to posing a question and moving along quicker. Like, not to minimize it, but the way he said it, it did sound like that a bit.
But so the important context of that little soundbite was that previously I was asking them to demonstrate any knowledge that they have of the Earth being a globe, so that they're used to the other X spaces with the other flat Earth esoteric guys, right? So they're used to those, like the dome argument and firmament and all that. They're used to having those back and forths with those guys. So when they're in our space, they're fucking like, they don't know what to argue. They're looking for straw men, like, flat Earth maps and all kinds of shit. And we don't give them any of that shit. So they're trying to, like, you know what? All right, fine. I can't say what the Earth is as a globe. I can't give you any evidence. So you tell me. Like, that's what he was trying to get at. Like, you know what I mean? So he basically, he sacrificed all of his worldview just so that he can hear how we present it to him. So I'm like, you didn't have to do that, but, thanks for that anyway.
Okay, yeah.
So it was, and him and Flurf Herder said that. So Flurf Herder, he's just in there trying to get, he's using his gimmick. He always, every time you ask him what he thinks about the Earth being a globe, he reverts back to his Uno reverse card. Well, what do you think about the Earth being flat? And so he does it so much, and he's so annoying that people give in to the gimmick. They're like, "All right, man, here's how the Earth is flat." Like, you know what I mean? That's what they do, because he doesn't move. He's just like on repeat, and people want to move the conversation forward, so they're willing to engage him. All right, fuck it, I'll tell you. So.
No, well, I mean. I interacted with him, even though I actually unblocked him. I had blocked him because he doesn't have any substance. So what he's going to do, if you actually engage him, he's going to just do two things. You're lying and you don't understand. If you search his posts, right, if you do like an advanced Twitter search and type in the word lying, gotta lie to Flurf, or you don't understand, that's every fucking reply. Like, every reply to anything a flat earther says, that's his reply. You're lying, or you don't understand, or both, right? So he's just trying to get you to say something so that he can just make a baseless accusation.
It's like
no matter what evidence you present, he's going to say, if he doesn't understand it, he's going to say you don't understand it. If it's a different interpretation of what he thinks is globe evidence, he's going to say you're lying about it.
That's Scott Mackey vibes, bro. All day.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
All fucking day.
Exactly.
Dude. Scott would do that shit every time he come in here. Well, that's just word salad, or you don't know what you're talking about. Like, that was his response.
Same thing. Every fucking thing we say. Man. It was the same person.
Cringe as fuck, dude. I used to. That drove me up the wall more than anything else. I'm like, dude, at least you could respond to some of the shit that we're talking about, but you don't even have the intellectual capacity to fucking articulate any point. You just say, "Oh, that's word salad," or "That's nonsense." Like, he doesn't like. That's annoying, dude. Like, at some point, when are you gonna start saying you stand up for your ideas that the Earth is a globe? He never did that, and that's what like Flurf Herder was doing. Just the Uno reverse card. Every single time we ask him, I was like, "How is the Earth a globe?" Well, how is the Earth flat? Like, he would do it all. That was his thing. So I got him off the hamster wheel for a little bit, and that's when they started conceding.
Dude, Peter and his bullshit last night too. That crap. White knighting for that
bro.
dude.
Yeah, he was on one because we were fucking dunking on that shrimp boat captain.
Yeah, the guy who keeps dude, like seriously, his definition of horizon is just wrong, dude. I showed him it's wrong. It's just wrong. Like, it doesn't say dividing circle in Greek. It means bounding circle, which means it's a circle around you. It's a sphere, bro. Like, dude, like it's unbelievable. And then Peter's white knighting for him, like he can't defend himself. Oh no, like he's basically saying, "You're a retard. I have to defend you." Why are you calling dude a retard? That he can't defend himself,
bro. You know
Peter's disgusting, dude. Like
who else? Ralph actually came in and did the same thing that Peter was doing the other day. Ralph said that. Why do you guys like picking on the slow kid in the class, or like the slow kid on the bus? Or he said some bullshit like that. And I'm like, why? Because you're the bus driver? Like, we're telling Ralph that because fucking Ralph was doing the same shit. Because they hate it.
Well, listen. Next time they do that, be like, okay, he's a slow kid. Why don't you correct his argument? Correct his argument. Since he doesn't understand his own argument, and you think he's just the slow kid, why don't you, with your high IQ, correct his argument and present it how it should be presented? And you're just gonna hear crickets.
Bro, fucking AJ told him that he faced him yesterday. AJ, if you're there, didn't you say that to Peter? Yeah. You said those very words exactly.
But I came in I came in right at the very end. Yeah, I was actually like trying to catch up with what was going on because I was out, and I just caught the last bit of Peter, and I sort of got him to repeat it again to me, and he's just a dirty snake, man. To wait till your mic was gone and say the things that he said, and then I muted the space, and when I muted the space, he was able to keep talking. Everyone else was muted, and he just kept speaking, and then I got it back on track, and he was. We got back into drop over distance again, which is what the argument was. And I asked him who's ever measured this, and he was just screaming at me, saying, "Everybody, heaps of people."
He said I did.
I've done it. Yeah. And then when I said, "Oh, have you got some evidence?" he just told me to fuck off.
He literally said that. Literally.
Well, here's the thing. He said, Alpha knows how it's been measured. I told him I measured it. How was it measured? The horizontal plane, because this is what he was saying when you weren't around. You need to go back and listen to all the shit he was talking about you. That he schooled you and you spiraled and you broke the mute button, muting him so much and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Anyway, the point is, he started off with the vertical plumb is perpendicular to the ground. It's not in the gold model. It's not perpendicular to the ground in their shit. Because they have this thing called curvature of the plumb line, right? So it's perpendicular to the direction of gravity. Gravity's not the ground because they claim there's a potato Earth with lumpy gravity. So plumb can point in any fucking direction depending on what's underneath the ground. So if you got a big chunk of lead in one direction, your plumb line will point at that, even though it's not directly underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Say it's 100 yards freaking to your north. The plumb line is going to deflect. Remember when Kosho used to, this Shanling Mountain, man, they had a deflection of the plumb toward the mountain.
This is an old busted argument, bro.
It's funny. Well, I'm just saying it's funny. He says, I told Peter all this. And he's saying that you're pretending that you didn't hear him. Well, he's pretending he didn't hear me.
Dude, he didn't state any of that shit when we were talking. He basically did the same thing like AJ. He told us to fuck off. When it was time for him to actually show, he said, "Nah, fuck off. I don't have time for this shit." I'm like, bro, you were in here about defending this other guy, and now when it's time for you to show, you're just cowering out. That's great.
Oh yeah, he don't give a fuck. Remember? That's what he said. He said I could show it to you, but I don't give a fuck or some shit.
But I don't know wonder why when I muted that space, he's able to just keep talking.
That happened to me too. I was muting the space and the shrimp boat captain was still talking. So Star Crush or whatever his name
is. Just like when you do the double mute, it subtracts a mute. So the next time you mute somebody, it don't work.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. But that's like the spaces are so glitchy, man. I can't believe it's this broken for a company this size.
Yeah, he's the richest man in the world, and we can't get some good fucking tech to fucking run these spaces, bro.
I bet that they're gonna redo spaces, but it's gonna be like they're probably gonna completely revamp it. I would bet, and they're probably just like we're not gonna waste time just doing like an incremental fix because they probably looked at the code and it's so fucking broken. They're like, fuck that. We're not gonna do an incremental fix. We'll just completely remake it because this is really basic. Audio, voice, stuff is like basic. It's been around for 20, 30 years. Like voice over internet and on a conference call is so old, dude. Exactly, dude. Like,
yeah,
come on, man.
That fucking TeamSpeak was better quality than his fucking X.
I mean, there's stuff before TeamSpeak. Was there anything before TeamSpeak? TeamSpeak was pretty
yeah,
early.
there's Ventrilo was its competitor, I think. Ventrilo.
Yeah, but TeamSpeak was first. TeamSpeak was like the first stuff I used. That was like back in 2001, 1999 even.
Yeah, that was. I remember back in my Halo days. That was when I was in my 20s. Yep.
Yeah, I used to use it like Quake 3, Quake, all that shit.
By the way, Alpha, I had to catch the backlash of you mocking esoteric flat earthers. They acted like I was the one mocking it.
Nah, that's me, bro. All day, all fucking day. Because they join our space. You know that, right? Like the later in the night. I don't know if you were there. Yeah, I think you
What is
stayed
an
through the whole day.
esoteric flat earther, though? Can you like define it for me?
Yeah,
so I don't go throwing it around at the wrong people.
Let's see if you're there.
Is it the Bible thumpers? Is it
No.
what is it?
Esoteric, the hidden knowledge flat earthers. Like they've got the ice wall, the beyond the ice wall, outer ponds,
Oh, that shit! Infinite Plan
ether.
Society, freaking
But
domes made out of fucking blue ice that falls from the sky, which is just somebody pushing a toilet on the airplane, and they're like playing with it.
See, here's the thing, though. Ether is grouped in with esoteric flat earthers also, because it can be proven, and it's like a higher knowledge. Like you got to trust that they have it figured out and go off of what they're saying. Which that got me in trouble when I was following Witsit back in the day, because I've only been out here for like 2 years, so when I first got out here, a lot of the information was pretty limited, and I found Witsit, of course, first. He's the reason why I found 24/7. Him and Kai were doing that debate with that girl and who else? McToon, I think. Anyways,
yeah.
I was like I almost got into all that ether stuff too, but MacGyver on 24/7, he challenged me to a claim that I made that I got from hanging out over there, and I couldn't support it, so I started really revisiting all of those things that had been said and realized I couldn't substantiate anything that I thought or said.
Yeah, he stopped me in Jedi too, of the same thing. We were talking about that in the space in Discord on our home server, and he said this very same thing that he told Flatsy. It was like we were talking about discussing it, right? And he's like, "That's just a model. Do you know that it's not been like measured?" I'm like, "What?" Like because everything that we think, these models, they've already been kind of figured out, and it's not been. So I don't know. Do you know that? Like, there's certain models that they abide by, and we're just taking them for granted, bro.
I mean,
would you say that it's real?
There's no evidence. There's no direct evidence for the ether. Period. Does not exist. There's like 2-volume book by Sir Arthur Whitaker on it. History of ether and electricity from the ancient times to the present. Like he goes through all the experiments to try to prove the ether going back way back, all the way back, right? All the experiments. It's never been found in ether. That being said, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that they can't detect it, right? There's no direct evidence for it. Now, someone might be able to make an experiment at some point in time to show that it exists, but as of now, there's no evidence for its existence.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be the same for me saying that the invisible people also don't exist?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like saying unicorns might exist, but we just haven't found one, right?
Yeah, but that's not. I don't know.
It's
if that's
the same
an argument,
stupidity. No, but it really is the same stupidity. It's like saying unicorns. We haven't found one yet, but we could find one in the future. Yeah, I mean, yeah, possibly. And the same thing is about the ether. It's about as plausible as a unicorn. It has as much evidence as a unicorn does, right? There's no evidence for it, but doesn't mean it's not possible.
Is AI
If I
here?
may,
It
if I
hasn't
may,
been falsified, is what I'm saying. It hasn't been proven to not exist.
What was
It's
the?
if I may
proven
add
that
to
there's
that,
no evidence for it, which is a totally
I
different thing.
go ahead, mate.
if I may, I just want to ask, like, what is it that gives rise to the suspicion that there may be something like that? Like, for example, if one were to posit, oh, there are invisible leprechauns and unicorns, like there would be something that would make somebody suspect that to begin with, like something happened or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that gives?
Why do they
this?
posit the idea? Is what you're asking.
So there's two reasons, as far as I can tell. They want an absolute reference frame, right? So according to modern physics, there is no absolute reference frame. Everything is relative to something else. So that's one reason. The other reason is conceptually they like it. It's a conceptual preference, right? A philosophical preference that they want to be able to analogize electromagnetic waves to water waves or sound waves or something like that. So you need a medium for those things to go through. And so they want the same thing. Right? So all the behaviors of light, you can simulate all that stuff, right? Interference patterns, all the stuff. You can even tunnel, right? So you can tunnel water waves, you can tunnel sound waves, quantum tunneling, they'll do the same shit. Even though it's not a quantum level, it's a property of waves, it's not a property of whatever. But the thing is, they want the medium, right? And for whatever reason, it's philosophical. It's not really, they don't like the idea because, we see waves in all these other environments, right? We have waves in this environment. Therefore, if there's a medium over here, there's got to be a medium over there. They can't say to themselves, well, this just might behave differently, right? It might not require a medium. And they're just fixated on that.
Well, they're calling this medium like an energy medium only, which a medium would be substantive by definition. So that's okay. I rose a bunch of points to him because the first person I was talking to passed me off to Alan. He he quit responding, and Xavier took up the torch against me, and then Sheepdog and Brian Sweet were going back and forth with me. Like I couldn't pin down what the ether even is. When they would say it, I would be like, well, by definition, it can't be a medium. There's no energy medium, because by a medium, you would mean something substantive. And like, if you want to use the analogy of water has a molecular structure that adhesive. So the body of water, it still has the molecular structures within it. Whether or not
that's the problem. That's why I say ether could still possibly exist, right? So if ether permeates all space as like some absolute reference frame, you can't detect it from within it because you have to differentiate the thing, right? You would have to take the ether, separate it out to differentiate it from whatever testing apparatus you have. But if your testing apparatus has ether inside of it, right? So say ether is like a substrate of reality. Let's just call it that. That's like a fluid. I've heard it mentioned as a liquid fluid or a gaseous fluid. Maxwell modeled it as like a bunch of rolling balls and shit, which is like, think about like a ball pit, right? The ether would be like a ball pit, but the balls are rigidly in place. They're not rolling around like a ball pit. Now imagine a ball pit was enclosed so that the balls can only roll against each other. That's how Maxwell modeled electricity and magnetism, using a model like that. But the thing is, if the ether is within your apparatus, right, your measuring apparatus to detect whatever it is you're going to detect, how are you going to separate out? How are you going to separate out like what you're measuring from the thing being measured? Because the measuring device itself contains the thing you're trying to measure. You're trying to say, hey, this is a separate thing from everything else, right? We're gonna try and isolate ether. You see what I'm saying? You're trying to isolate it from everything else to detect it. That's how you detect something. You isolate it from everything else.
right, but they're using light, which Maxwell was debunked after a single photon hit the photographic plate during the double slit demonstration. Okay, light is not There's no charge to it, and it's not affected by magnetism. So it's neither electric or magnetic, and it's not a wave. So the whole thing, I'm just like, this is a big nothing burger. Like, we're all over here talking about it like we can pinpoint down
Well,
what
Maxwell didn't really get into light. I mean, they attribute the speed of light to Maxwell because of an equation which spat out the speed of light. But he wasn't trying to do anything with light. He was only trying to model electricity and magnetism. It actually had nothing to do with the light itself.
Well, he was trying to explain the photoelectric effect.
James Clerk Maxwell? No, he didn't even know about that.
No, it wasn't him. No, yeah,
I'm talking about Theory of Electricity and Magnetism by James Clerk Maxwell, which is written in like the 1860s, I think.
Right. So yeah, I get
that's a modern.
My contention with Alan is when I was talking to him, I was like, "How do you know that?" Or I asked him if is he implying that light is electromagnetic? And then Xavier, he took up the torch from there, and he was like asserting that it was an electromagnetic wave that didn't not a mathematical wave function that can collapse, which I didn't even say that. A lot of the conversation that was going on is they were putting words into my mouth.
Well, you know, people, they try to reply to so someone made, I mean, I understand the words in your mouth, right? So they've heard arguments against the ether before, and just like you say something that's automatically they're going to attribute it to you because someone made a similar argument sometime in the past. They just how people act. But the electromagnetic wave thing, I'm like, I saw a video by an electrical engineer that, I don't know. I don't know if that's actually been demonstrated, the electromagnetic wave part. I mean, maybe it has. I don't know.
Well, you know, that there's no, well, you remember when I was telling him, I was like, there's really no dispute whether or not light is made of photons or a wave in quantum mechanics, and that the wave function, which is the psi of x, that's just a way to kind of get an orientation, you know, or like I didn't go more into depth about it. Didn't figure that I should.
First of all, I don't adhere to the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics. Number one, let's just start there. I think it's all wrong, and for lots of reasons. I think we're missing something. I think quantum mechanics is missing. There's a huge hole in it, and I don't know if you're aware of John Bell. You aware of John Bell? It's pretty famous.
Nope. No, I'm not actually. John Doe is usually like a
John Bell. So John Bell came up with something called Bell's inequalities, right? So Einstein wrote what's called the EPR paper, which is the Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen paper, which said that because of general relativity and the speed of light, that there has to be hidden variables, right? Variables that we don't see in quantum mechanics, and have local realism. And John Bell demonstrated that. Actually, just gave out a freaking Nobel Prize for doing the experiments.
Do you have any actual credentials?
Do I need credentials?
Do you have any?
In what?
Academia.
Yes.
Do we need any?
Yeah, but do I need any?
Yeah.
Does what I say magically becomes wrong because I don't have credentials?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, not at all. Period. It's not even a factor. It's called an appeal to credentials fallacy. So when you're done being irrational, please talk again.
I'm not committing a fallacy, and you know that. I'm just asking.
No, it's appeal to credentials fallacy. Use Google.
You just told you the fallacy. I'm not
you have any credentials.
And then ask for your credentials.
Yeah, and it's a fallacy. So the truth or falsity of my propositions based upon whether I have credentials or not. They're based upon the evidence presented within the propositions. I could be a freaking toilet fucking scrubber, okay? If I say the sky is blue today and I look up and the sky is blue, I don't need a fucking physics degree on fucking light scattering to know the sky's blue, okay? Fucking stupid you left.
Yeah, and I did check his credentials, and he doesn't have interrupting credentials, so I had to mute him.
While there's a minute,
So, hey,
India, if I may, I just wanted to ask. Sorry to interrupt, but are you guys at all familiar with Ken Wheeler? I think I've asked this before, but I forget to who.
Yeah, I know. I knew Ken way before Flat Earth, dude. I interacted with him on fucking other forums.
I'm with the story. I'm with the original train of thought.
Yeah, it was just because you guys were talking about light and stuff. So I just wanted to ask about that because I posted something in here. I forget at what time.
If Indio forgets his train of thought,
no, I didn't forget. John
it's gonna be bad for you, bro.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off there, but continue. I'll ask after.
So John Bell basically pointed out that there's a problem in quantum mechanics that between the detector, the screen, whatever it is you're detecting, and the slits, no one can say what's happening for certain, right? There's a probability that something is happening, but no one knows exactly what's happening. And then if you try to figure out what's happening, the quote-unquote wave function collapses. But the act of finding out, right, the measurement is the same thing as the detection. There's no difference. You're just detecting it at a different location, right? So this is the problem, right? And he said basically the problem with quantum mechanics is you can't say what is actually real between the screen and the detector. Yes, you can do calculations, blah, 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 but you can't say what's actually real. Is there a photon in there? Is there not a photon in there? What's in there, right? What's in that space? Is it traveling? Is it teleporting? Like, what's it doing? You don't know until you make the measurement on the other end. And he said, it's called Against Measurement. It was a paper he wrote. So John Bell's well known. It's like in quantum mechanics field. But he wrote a paper called Against Measurement, and he said the fundamental problem, and he like reviewed all the literature. He died of cancer, unfortunately. So the fundamental problem is that the measurement device itself is not part of the quantum mechanics other than collapse of the wave function. But the measurement device itself, right, what you're actually doing might have something to do with the outcome, right? But because we have an idea of the propagation, right? So I have a photon gun, right? A light gun, and I shoot one photon. In our minds, the photon is traveling from the gun to the screen, right? Through the slit, one direction or the other, which path to the screen. Well, maybe it's not happening that way. You ever think of that? Maybe the screen has more to do with it than just the gun. Because if you take electricity and magnetism, right? If you look at a diagram of how electricity works, every electron in the universe, every particle is attached to every other particle through lines of force, right? And the electromagnetic wave propagates along that line of force of those two attached electrons. Right? So it's a disturbance. Now think of it like a thread. So
is it like a chain that always existed? You just can't see it, and that photon is like the illumination of
I mean, there's a force there. You could hypothetically have an infinitely sensitive measuring device. You could measure the force between two electrons separated by, whatever distance. But the force falls up inversely proportional to the square of the distance. And then you have the problems of the actual measuring device itself will have a charge itself. So it would have to be absolutely neutral. And then you got problems of measurement. It's really not a problem of whether it exists or not.
So you're saying there's a lot of interference within the device to the actual test?
Yeah, because you'd be measuring something so minute. Think about it. Trying to measure the force between one electron to see if it actually imparts a force on some electron that's, 100 feet away. Right? How hard it would be to actually measure that and to isolate it from everything else. Be nearly impossible. I would say it's impossible. But what I'm saying is that we're taking out the other side, right? Whatever the other side, because we're making a measurement at the other end, some screen, some sensor, something, right, is on the other side. That thing has an influence on what happens before, right? Maybe some state has to exist between the electron gun and the screen where electron is actually released, because even the release time, right, of electrons is random. It's on some random scale of time. Like, we can't say exactly it's going to be emitted exactly at this time. We can say it's going to be emitted in some range of time, right? I'm turning on my cold cathode, and some random process will make the electron shoot off randomly at certain times. Well, what we do is we just freaking send so many that effectively it's a stream of electrons, right, that we can detect. But each individual emission, that might have something to do with some interaction between the screen and the freaking electron gun. We don't know. So I'm not for the Copenhagen interpretation. I think that's just like kicking the can down the road. Just saying, hey, fucking, you don't know it till you look at it. I mean, it's like, yeah, maybe. But, like, I think there's a lot more unknown to it than people make out.
So what is light?
But basically, yeah, exactly. What is light? That is really it. What is light? Nobody fucking knows even to this
Yeah,
day.
they were trying to get me to make a claim to it, and I was like, I'm not making a claim.
Isn't the answer like according to what science declares it to be convoluted? It's physical. It acts like something physical.
But there's a whole nother dimension to this, right? And it's called near field radiation. So electromagnetic waves are what's called far field radiation. But there's near field radiation, which is the same thing but different, where we know that the speed of light doesn't actually exist. Speed of light only exists for transverse waves, right? So without getting, like, say me and you had a rope between us, and I snapped the rope. You'd see a transverse wave travel down the rope to you. Those are the waves that travel at the speed of light. But there's push waves, right? So say the rope was rigid like a broom, and I pushed it at you. That would be an instantaneous, right? That would be instantaneous displacement of the energy, right? So that only happens in electromagnetic radiation in the near field because it falls off exponentially. So it's only measurable for what they would say 1/6 of the wavelength. So whatever the wavelength is, so say it's a 1 meter wavelength, you'd be able to detect this near field radiation within 1/6 of that meter, right? Unless you have a really high power source and you can actually look at like electrical power grids. You will and radio stations. There's so much power going through these radio antennas that if you get too close to it, you will electrically magnetically couple, meaning you will become like a transformer and you will fucking fry because all the electrons in fucking, say it's broadcasting at 100 freaking megahertz FM, all the electrons and everything in your body will start resonating at 100 megahertz FM and you'll fucking fry. They have signs, warnings. You can look on any electrical power grid. They have all sorts of warnings. Hey, near field radiation. This is fucking dangerous. It is super dangerous. It's way more because the power transfer does not fall off inversely proportional to square distance. You're electromagnetically coupled. You actually are in phase and in power with your, like, whatever many fucking watts in that antenna, you're basically getting the same amount. Yeah, so don't get too close to a radio antenna.
You become a conduit for that energy?
You become it. No, not a conduit. You are it.
You meld
You're
into
together.
it?
You're basically in a Vulcan mind meld with the antenna.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's serious, dude. You're literally like, you're coupled, right? So I don't know if you ever seen a transformer, right? So it's like a copper winding. Well, there's a horseshoe magnet, right? And on one of the edges, one of the arms of the horseshoe magnet's a winding, and then another winding. So you pulse AC in there, and it electromagnetically coupled to the other winding, even though there doesn't have to be any. You don't even need the magnet, so you don't even have to connect them, right? They're electromagnetically coupled. So you have your phone, right? So some charges this. So everyone's had got like a key fob or a card, right? And they tap their card. Those are near field IDs. They use near field radiation to electromagnetic. When it comes with next to a sensor, there's a electromagnetic pulse in the sensor. So and there's a coil in your RFID tag. As soon as you get close enough, that coil starts resonating with the sensor and creates an electrical current that'll read the chip, and then the chip will interact with the sensor, and all your information will go wherever, right? So we use this all the time, but like it's just not like in quantum physics and all of physics, all Planck's bullshit, all this. There's like near field radiation just doesn't exist in that sense, right? When they talk about light and electromagnetic waves, the near field radiation part is just, it just really doesn't even exist in physics per se, other than in the way I just talked to you about. But they've never done any like, let's do the double slit experiment with using near field radiation. No one's ever done that shit. Maybe I should do it. I don't know.
That's kind of why I
reminded me of,
wanted
which
to
I
bring
think it's what you reminded me of, and it's kind of different because it's microwave radiation. I don't know how different that is to what you're talking about, but my husband
That's just
used to
wavelength.
climb,
That's it.
yeah, my husband used to climb cell phone towers, and there is a portion that they have to make sure is shut off, or it will fry them while they're trying to climb that past that portion of the tower. So, and some people have almost died because of that. You know, like while Sterling was there, I think there was a problem that somebody forgot to turn it off while they were climbing, and somebody almost got hurt doing just climbing it,
that
and
might
they didn't
be.
turn it off.
So they ground that antenna, right? So they have one of these antennas, they're grounded. So that thing is electrically coupled to the ground because it's grounded to the ground, right? So say that antenna is pulsating at, 100-meter wavelength. You're actually going to have a standing wave on that antenna that's 100 meters. If they're emitting from that, right? So it's basically they're taking a bunch of transmitters that are transmitting at 2400 megahertz. Let's say that's a freaking 10-meter wavelength. You're going to have a bunch of nodes, right, standing waves all over the antenna. So if you're so this is like the interference pattern, right, Platzi? You understand? Like these standing waves are like the interference pattern, right?
Yes.
So when you get in the wrong spot, you're in the part that's the light part. You're not in a null. You're in a high point where almost all the energy from that high point is going to go into your freaking body.
Yes, like the crest of the wave. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And like depending on the wavelength, there could be a whole bunch of them on the antenna, but it could just be the wavelength so long it's only a spot on the antenna, like say halfway up or 3/4 of the way up, because you can move the null, right, by putting a capacitor on the end. That's to prove this shit. Like it's, I don't know how well known it is, but you can look at like some of his documentation. He actually showed that you can actually move where the null is, because what happens is when you send electromagnetic energy down something, it'll reflect off the end and bounce back, right? So say I have a wire and I send a AC current into it. It'll go to the end and reflect back. In that reflection, so you have an incoming wave and an outgoing wave, so you'll end up with a standing wave with a bunch of nodes on the surface of the wire. So the antenna is basically doing the same thing. It's reflecting at the end of the antenna and bouncing back down into the ground. Right, but that standing wave is being created by the transmitters on top being coupled to the ground. So this shit's, I wouldn't call it complicated.
But it's also
I don't know how
waves
complicated it is.
there's not a lot of length between the waves, right? So there isn't. It's just like pretty much like almost like
the
a
longer the wavelength, the longer the wavelength. Now, physics actually, modern physics calls this differently, right? They say the shorter the wavelength, the more energy the photon has. Yeah,
right,
great.
yeah.
But the longer the wavelength, the more power you can actual working power you can transmit. So I could take microwave, right, and try to power something with it. Good luck. But if I took long wavelength, like radio waves, like 250 megahertz, made a fucking giant antenna, it'd be super efficient, but I could actually power devices with radio waves because the wavelength, there's so much power in each individual crest that will be transferred that you can actually power stuff with it. Whereas the short wavelengths is going to be a whole bunch of little, you're not going to be able to get continuous
Yeah, you
power that
won't be
way.
able to really do much. And by way of it's more like an onslaught, you know. But with the longer wavelengths, this is this is what was fascinating to me about the double slit, is because they dull the light down so that the wave, that whatever is happening with the detection of the lights that will light up on the photographic plate, after a while
Yeah.
they make that fringe pattern, but it's like a while, it's hours, but it makes that fringe pattern, and it's just randomly, like, all of these lights will light up and it will seem random, and then after however many hours, it's starting to create a fringe pattern, the wave-like pattern that you can
Yeah.
see on the photographic
Yeah,
plate,
that's
which
why
is
they say it's a probability amplitude, because the probability that any
yes,
particle lands
exactly.
in any particular place is it's gonna have some probability, and that probability will be in the form of a wave.
Because they can't track it down, they have to do it that way, I guess, because there is no way to track it down. From what I can tell, that they don't claim that they can. There's no way that they would be able to, track that down. The only thing that they can do is from that demonstration, they can see that happen over time.
Well, now here's the thing that might be relevant to this, which is I'm gonna try and make it come back to flat Earth. Watch this. So the detector, right? The detector, the plate, or whatever it is you're using, that's
Yeah,
flat, right?
photographic plate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's flat.
Yeah.
Now, so say they made a curved photographic plate, right? Like concave curve. Would it project the same pattern? Would the spacing be different?
I don't
Because
know.
shouldn't the waves be spherical waves traveling, spherically in all directions? So how are they getting an interference pattern, right? Where the lines are evenly divided, right? So the lines are evenly divided, but because of the angle that they're coming at, as you get further and further away from, the plate, right out from the center, right out to the edges, then the photons should be hitting it at some angle, and the interference lines should get farther and farther apart, right? They should be closer when you're directly in front, and then further and further apart because of the angle. Because what they say is that there's a probability of photon coming through a slit at this angle, that angle, this angle, that angle, right? All the infinite angles. But there's only one path that actually takes. But one of those paths is going to be like an outlier, so it'll be coming at a very steep angle. Like, why don't we see like a spreading? Then we should be able to make a concave one, right? That would be actually have evenly divided interference pattern. So this is a problem I just thought of, and it's like, I don't know the question, I don't know the answer. This is why I'm like, we don't know what the fuck's going on.
I don't know. Yeah,
That's why I'm saying, dude. Like, I'm not like. That's why this ether thing. Like, I can just say, I'm not on QE's side, anybody's side. We don't know what the fuck's going on, and the more you think you know what's going on, the more you're going to get burned.
Yeah, I don't know, and I wouldn't claim to. And that's the one thing that I was trying to get them to understand. Like, I'm not making a claim. Honestly, you're the one making the claim, so I'm just challenging it. I'm not mean, and I was trying to be nice and cordial. I wasn't trying to be hostile, but it ended up being that way because they wanted it to be that way.
They're very sensitive about it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want this to be emotional, but it ended up being that way anyways. Not on my end. I'm not really. I think that time will, make it better. Like they'll forget about it, and it won't matter anymore. But
Look, I'll give Alan and Shane credit and all those guys. They go through all the experiments. They go through all the literature, which is fine. They give the results of the experiments and how they did the experiment. I think their conclusion is unjustified. I don't think the experiments support their conclusion. Period.
well, I would say that I don't see anything that I mean, I see that they take a lot of time and they put a lot of effort in to like modeling the earth and modeling the observer's position on the earth with the what is it called, where it's the dome around the person, what do they call
Shane's
that?
dome model. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, Shane just did it to just show that the
It's a
Globers,
visual.
right? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he just did it to show that it's just a map projection. It doesn't matter. All of them work because you're just transferring the coordinate system, right? So if I take a coordinate system and do a transformation, and I could transfer it to anything, it's always going to work, no matter what. So he can transfer it to anything he wants, and it's just going to work, right? But those guys like to say, you don't have a flat Earth map, you don't have a model, you don't have this that works, you have nothing that works. So Shane just did it to show you, oh yeah, we can make this shit work, no problem. And it pisses them the fuck off. So now all they do is say, you plagiarized Walter Bisman, because they can't fucking say anything else about it.
Yeah, I didn't mean those guys any harm.
He's not putting it off as like this is actual reality. He's not putting it off like.
Yeah, I didn't mean those guys any harm. I was just inquiring about their
they're sensitive about
claims, and then they wanted me to make claims, and I was like, wait a second, why are you wanting me to make a claim? I think Xavier, because he was saying I can't prove what light is, and I was like, I didn't make a claim to what light was, but he was kind of like making fun of me to Brian or Sheepdog, one of them, I can't remember, and he was like, they can't even prove what light is. And he said something else, and I was like, wait a second. So just hypothetically, like, I don't need to make a claim about light to be able to disprove your claim about light. And I asked him, is that really the position you want to take? Like, if I don't have a replacement, but I can falsify what you claim, that's still okay. Like, I don't need to replace it. But they were acting like I needed to replace it, which was weird.
Well, there's some things I got problems with as far as the retro causal quantum eraser experiment. I think that fucking experiment and the conclusions reached from it are fucking just stupid. Basically, it says once I observe it, the wave function collapsed in the past, which is fucking stupid. That to me is like the biggest hole in the world as far as the entire endeavor of quantum mechanics. When you have a mathematical formulas that says you can have the effect prior to the cause, or that's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that where like they tried to interweave the notion of, was it the experimenter's consciousness has an effect on the experiment and all that stuff?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't, like, listen, this is the thing, is that
Which path information?
Yeah, so the consciousness thing, that's kind of like a misnomer, right? You could do the detection at the screen. It would collapse then, even if no one observed anything. You would just have no knowledge of what happened, right? But you also don't have knowledge of things you haven't seen yet, right? So it's like saying, like, all of a sudden one thing happened or the other because I opened, say it's a detector, right? And it's in a closet. And I don't know what the reading was on the detector. There's a reading on there. So I can bring it up and say, yes, when there's a reading, this light bulb comes on. I don't know which happened, right? I don't know what was detected, but I know if there was a reading or not. I can know there was a reading before I open the door to actually look at what the reading was. My mental state didn't collapse the wave function.
But wasn't that the whole point? Like, my understanding was there were several versions of this experiment. And this is where it gets kind of weird, right? Wherein at some point there was even no way of knowing which, or there was no personal involvement in it, but they tried to capture which path the light went through, and even by doing that, like whether it was the sheer aspect of the detection process happening, or if it was the mechanism by which it was trying to detect the thing, that sheer phenomena was fucking things up, whether the guy was watching it or not.
That's what's so funny about the lecture that I watch on Professor Shankar. Yeah. Professor Shankar says that. He's like, I'm going to teach you about quantum mechanics, and when you are done learning, you're going to realize you don't know anything about it. So that was pretty cool. I've been watching his lectures recently.
There's something people need to realize, that there's some things in reality, in the physical world, that the more you know, the less you know. So say I do research and I discover something, but then in the process of discovering that thing, I find out there's 8 more things I didn't know about that I also don't know. So I just discovered something, and now I know less. Right? I actually know less than I did before.
That's so true. It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that distance to the wall?
It's the paradox, right?
The paradox. Yes.
Just getting
It's
further
the
and
same
further
thing
away,
almost.
man.
What's
So
that
I
about?
bring up, I actually, Zeno's paradox, like you can never reach a wall because mathematically you could say you go halfway, then another halfway, then another halfway.
Oh yeah.
So you never reach any, you can't actually move technically. So what I wanted to bring up was, I brought up decoupling for a reason, because I think the screen, the detector, and the device that the particles supposedly coming out of, I think they can't be separated. I think they are coupled, and that there's no separation. Like the general relativistic separation, speed of light, causality. I think they're just together. They're the same thing, and we're making the mistake by saying A precedes B. No, they're like A can't even happen unless B says so, right? So we can actually kind of observe this in semiconductors. Actually, a LED light or a LED laser. So their model is, there's something called a p-n junction. And the model for this is, you have a material, it's made of metal. Now this material has extra electrons. And on the other side, it has electron holes, right? It's devoid of electrons. And apply a voltage across it, you'll have electrons tunnel from one material into the other. But if there's no electron holes in that material, there is no tunneling that can happen. There's nowhere for the electron to go. Now, how does the electron on this side know there's a place to go on the other side? Unless the other side somehow communicates that, or, they're somehow connected in some way. Well, at least this is my running hypothesis on what the hell's going on, but I'm probably wrong.
Well, I was asked if I could. I can't really speak about any other things, but the isolation of photon and electrons are the only things that I know that can somewhat be what you would call isolated, and electrons being isolated with the frequency of a light bouncing them off of a metal plate, being used in the invention of semiconductors. So I was like, that's the only thing I know of.
If I may quickly, like on all this kind of general topic, Indio, I was asking you earlier about this this Ken Wheeler guy. I posted something in the chat. Kind of, it was what you guys were talking about before. Kind of sparked a memory. I saw this video of this guy, Ken Wheeler, years ago, and on and off. I used to listen to him a lot, and he used to talk about all this stuff, right, in different ways, and made the claim that light is not a particle. Like it's almost like a not really he uses the term colloquially, but it's like a cult almost in academia to kind of conceptualize all these subatomic particles as actually being miniaturized BBs and stuff. It goes into all that, whatever. But this video, it was interesting because I forget, I think it was Slatsy who mentioned something about light and magnetism or whatever. This video was very interesting, and there's something about that I was never really able to shake, because it's supposedly an observation or a demonstration that there is some sort of light interaction within magnetic fields to some degree. I know this is a little bit more convoluted because there's all sorts of intricate setup with specialized material and stuff like that to facilitate the phenomena. But it just goes to show, I think, that there's something more to this than traditional teachings of how all this light stuff actually works. And you said something about like you've actually interacted with this guy before. Like what was your experience with all that?
There's a forum run by Eric Murakami, and Eric Dollard is on there, and a bunch of these guys, and he's on there. So
Dollard,
I think it was back in Eric Dollard. So back in it was 2011 or something. I was frequenting them forums, and he just said something stupid, and I corrected him, and then he blocked me. He was talking about some freaking guy and how he believed in like some reductionist theory of logic, and then I went and I read what he said, and the guy actually spoke against that, and then I posted it that he was wrong, and he fucking blocked me. But that is what it is. It's not really that important. It was like a weird interaction I had with it. There might have been more. I haven't thought about it in actually a while. The post is still up. I mean, you could actually. It's called Energetic Forum. You could actually probably just go read them.
Okay. Well, as to like his work, though, are you at all familiar with his content?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think he does a very poor job. I think his communication skills sucks. I think he does a very poor job of explaining.
Yeah.
So I'll explain the ferrocell. I'm going to explain the ferrocell in a way he doesn't. So there's LED lights around, and this is a ferrofluid. Now the ferrofluid will condense into the places where the lines of highest magnetic field are, because call it magnetic field for ha-has. So they'll condense into it. So what you're seeing is the lights are illuminating the ferrofluid, and where it's the thickest, right? It's the densest the light can't penetrate, and you get these lines, like this little vortex shit here. So that means there's like magnetic lines of force that are in this pattern around the magnet. But he doesn't really explain that well. What's happening is that basically he's illuminating the magnetic field. He's making it visible by using a ferrofluid.
So is light being demonstrated to have been affected by the magnetic field in this, or is it just like some sort of...
He's just illuminating. He's illuminating the ferrofluid. It's darker in some regions than others because that's where the fluid is densest. So the light can't penetrate, right? So this isn't a transparent liquid; it's semi-transparent, right? So the thicker parts are more opaque than the other parts. So those like ropes, right, of this torus, that's where the magnetic field is.
Right.
The light itself isn't doing this. It's the light interacting with the ferrofluid, not the frickin' magnetism. Yes, the ferrofluid is coalescing because of magnetism, but it's not interacting with the magnetism directly. As far as I can tell, unless there's something like another thing beyond that. But from what I said, because I've seen this video, what he said is this is just a ferrofluid.
Right. Well, the guy's very verbose.
You know what that is, right? It's just a bunch of iron shavings inside of like basically glycerin or something.
Yeah. Well, the guy's very verbose there. I don't know, like if you've never listened to his stuff there.
He's bad explaining.
He rambles a lot. Yeah, he rambles. He's a real jackass, but I don't know.
He can't focus, dude. That's the thing. Like, he doesn't focus on one thing and bring it to like its logical conclusion. He'll like say like 3 or 5 sentences about something, and then go off on a tangent about something else. Say 4 or 5 sentences about that, then go off on a tangent about some other thing. He's like, like dielectric incoherence or whatever the fuck they say. What the fuck is that, dude? I still haven't figured out what that is.
Dielectric incoherent down conversion Asperger's syndrome.
What is that? What is that shit? Like, I don't know what that is. I don't even know what that means.
Oh, hold on. I forgot spontaneous.
Yeah. I think you're familiar, AI?
A lot of what he said is a lot of what he says is philosophical, and he shows demonstrations, but they're laced with his philosophical assertions.
Right.
Yeah, and those might not be logically connected to the actual demonstration.
Perhaps. Yeah, all I really remember is he really clings to the likes of Tesla, and I remember in some of his stuff he's talked about how like even Tesla mentioned, like I think he cited it. I found a quote or whatever, where Tesla was even saying like the concept of an electron as being a little miniaturized BB. Even Tesla was saying like it's fucking stupid. Like it's or photons being BBs, miniaturized B. Like it's this notion of subatomic particles.
This is a problem. So this is one of my big beefs with Ken Wheeler is he does this quote unquote intellectual demonstration where he doesn't really show it because he can't, but he takes a camera And he says, well, if photons are little BBs, then I should be able to shake this camera, and he shakes it, and little photons should fall out. But that's not being honest with how people, think of what photons are. Nobody posits the idea that a photon is actually like a particulate of a BB. Nobody. So for example, when the photons go in through the lens, they don't collect in a pile of little balls in the back.
Yeah.
They hit
Why
whatever
aren't they rolling around on the floor because of gravity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
When photons hit a piece of matter, they bounce off or they're absorbed. Right? So if they're absorbed into the matter, you can't shake it and they fall out. Now you can get them back out again, or to be produced by inputting certain types of energy, but it's nowhere near the way he describes it. And he's describing it in a mocking way. I'll give him that. So maybe he's taking artistic license, but a lot of people take that seriously, and they start to mock other people, like, "Oh, you believe in little flying BBs that shoot around like little BB guns." It's like, people who believe in photons, that's not what they believe.
Right. Yeah. He's clarified in some of his stuff. I recall where it's like conceptualizing like a little packet of energy of some sort with some energy and a frequency and all that. It's fine. But I think it was more like a mock. He was more mocking the academic, strict. They conceptualize or they make visuals of little spheres. Like it's a good model, but some people might take it seriously in that in his worldview. That's what leads to a lot of people kind of adopting a strictly materialistic worldview. Where everything is really just building up of miniaturized Legos of some sort. You know what I mean? Like,
look, I'd rather have people think it's a freaking little BB than the alternative.
Why are there
where
so
everybody
many
thinks it's
people here?
Okay, why are you interrupting me?
I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
It's delayed. It's delayed.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway, so I'd rather have people believe light is little BBs than the alternative, where everybody thinks light's a bunch of waves, and then they say everything's frequency, man. Let's drop my acid. Like, no, I'll take the BBs. Thank you.
Well, yeah, you could definitely go down too far there with that, with the drugs and shit. Yeah, it's a my open towards like the whole hippie drug stuff.
No,
Yeah, I get that.
that's another thing.
Well,
That's another thing.
That's basically what I'm asking.
That's another thing. They were saying that matter is energy, instead of separating the two terms as like matter and energy, but they're both the same thing. That was weird to me. Like, like the law of identity violation.
There's a reason for that, because of the de Broglie wavelength, which correlates a wave function to matter, and they've actually quantum tunneled C60 atom, which is a buckyball.
Yeah.
They might have tunneled something bigger since then, but this is the largest one I know about.
Was it 60 atoms or something like that? 60 carbons?
Yeah, C60 is 60 carbons, yeah.
Right.
Now,
I mean, that's a bit of a monster.
Said, I don't know the details of the experiment. It could just be a bunch of bullshit. I never really looked deeply into it because it's not interesting to me.
Fair enough. Anyway, I just thought I'd ask.
I'm just aware of the claim. They could have for all I know, they shot 30 trillion C60 atoms and they got one to do something, and they were like, look, it tunneled. I don't know how they did it.
Fair enough. Thank you for that.
Yeah. If you really want to get freaky, look into bromium mechanics.
Did you say bromium?
Bromium.
Yeah, okay. But say, dude, I thought you were being funny, man. Is that like the bro split?
So, no, it's pilot wave theory.
Yeah. I'm more on that than advanced waves. So there's a couple iterations of this. I'm actually something called elementary wave theory, which I think is actually better. Which is the same thing. It's kind of like the pilot wave theory,
Except for there's no traveling. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. It's kind of deep. But it gets rid of the quantum weirdness. Let's just put it that way. Just completely evaporates. Because you don't presuppose that the photon is starting in one place and going to the other, right? Everything's all happening kind of like simultaneously. I mean, and it's actually the result of like an experiment they did on. It's kind of like the retrocausal quantum eraser, except for they used a boron crystal to. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's kind of complicated, but it showed that the wave function didn't collapse the way it proved that there was no retrocausal quantum eraser. Somehow the source of the neutrons must have had some interaction with the detector downstream prior to its emission.
Does that mean that QE needs to change his name?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly I don't know why QE would rather believe in fucking time traveling freaking photons than get to something a little more real.
Are you familiar with the one where they did their setup on the university where they made the reader somehow they made the distance between the sender and the reader greater than what the speed of light would be, so that they actually had like a real time delay. Can't remember the name of it. It was for the delayed choice quantum eraser, and they needed the distance to be greater than what the speed of light would be for the mechanism, so that they could rule out the time factor.
Yeah, but the thing is, the delayed choice quantum eraser is if you do a detection, SA detector, so it's like 3 detectors, A, B, C, D. You get a detector at D, then somewhere upstream, it had to choose a path that your detection at D will change the path that it took somewhere upstream. So you'll retroactively change the path that the photon had to take by mere detection.
These are certainly thought-provoking topics. I have had to eat my humble pie here tonight. Thank you.
I tend to agree with that, and I think there can be room for this type of stuff, or there should be, because I would imagine that there would be roads from this that might be able to lead into other stuff where it kind of teeters on the esoteric, but it can be brought back to brought back down to earth. It is speculative, so maybe Sunday, but yeah, I mean, adhering to the what do you call it, the structure of the room, stick with what you know for sure. But sound discussions like this in a speculative sort of arena, I think would be very much welcome, at least for me.
Hi guys. So there's like hella guys in here, but everyone's muted, So
Yeah, they're listening, man.
listening to what?
Us talk.
Oh, I didn't hear anyone talking.
Did you think like 30 people were gonna talk at the same time?
Yeah. it's better, you know.
Yeah, how would that go?
Well, if there's order and like it's fine, yeah. Like if there's order, like if people take turns and everything, I think it would go perfectly.
So imagine you're in a room with 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can 30 people have a simultaneous conversation with each other, no matter how orderly it is? Oh, really?
Yes.
No, they'll go off into little groups,
so you
right?
know when
They'll
there's
go off
people
into little groups. They'll go off into little groups.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
So we're just giving you an example of what happens when just a couple people are talking at once.
But the thing is, if you have like one of them things where there's like a circle of people talking, and you know, like when I don't know what it's called, it's like, you know, when like someone's like a drunkie and they like have alcohol abuse and stuff, and like they're all in a circle and stuff, and they think, oh no, I don't drink. But the thing is, like, you know, when there's like a big circle and there's like one guy in the middle and he talks to people, and like you pass on the stick and everyone talks and they have like a turn talking about the experience of being like a drunkard and stuff. Like that's like more than 30 people, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's
really? Not in America.
Case where it could be. No, that happens in America because that's one of the highest places where, like,
you just heard the audio chaos with 3 people talking, and you want to times that shit
that was
by
without
10?
order. That was without order though.
So you're saying we should talk one at a time.
Hold on. He's complaining about order. He's complaining about order. Now we have order. I just muted him. Now we have great order. See how orderly it is now?
To be fair, I think he was talking about 30 people engaging, but one at a time. That's where the talking stick thing came in. But he didn't communicate. He didn't communicate that very well.
Maybe we can try by only having the Globers be able to speak. There will be less than 30.
Like that.
How many Globers are here right now?
Word on the street,
2.
Peter, you had a meltdown yesterday. Couldn't handle
Major
Alpha
one.
for its spaces.
Yeah. So we have Alfred, we have me. Anybody else?
I mean, look at the channel that you're in. Like, you really think the majority here are going to be Globers?
No. This is why I'm proposing maybe only Globers can talk, and then it's going to be manageable.
What I miss?
You missed the damn Globers trying to take control of the channel.
Yeah. The Globers are here. Let's talk to them, guys.
Hold on, I got something for that. Hold on a second.
Let's set them flat.
Baby, come back.
I think it's so funny that Adam posted that GIF because when he said talking stick, I was thinking exactly that scene where in the Zoe Deschanel, whatever her that. Anyways, I thought that was hilarious. That was exactly what I thought of.
All right, so from February 22nd, from Peter, this VC will be a Glober channel by the end of next week. I promise.
How's that
Oh
going?
man, I've seen that like 10 times in various places.
Well, we've
That's all
had
right.
a
It's
snack.
all in good fun.
It's just a minor delay. It's just a minor delay.
Peter's talking now. Just on order.
Oh, Peter goes by the biblical theory of weeks, so it's actually 70 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd rather talk to Bakar, the troll, than Peter.
Oh.
So Bakar, you're on mute. See if you can take turns now.
Yeah, we can take turns. But the thing is, it's just like...
Yeah, but
what I
you
was trying to say, the
interrupted me
talking
when you
stick.
walked in. When you interrupted me when you walked in and said, why is
And
everybody muted?
But the thing is, I was unaware of that because I wasn't in here previously, you know? But, like, my bad for interrupting you. Because I didn't know. Like, I just joined VC,
Cool.
I waited like a split second, and I was like, oh, it's quiet, you know?
Okay, cool. So let's restart. Let's reboot this interaction.
This conversation, yeah. Yo, it's nice to meet you. Hi, my name is Bakar. I'm neutral on this flat earth stuff because I don't really care about it, you know? It doesn't really, like, affect me. But it's flat, upside down, fidget spinner.
Does it
or
affect
anything.
you? I mean, you can probe that if you want, like whether it affects you or not. Like, being like zero effect? Doesn't it affect your worldview?
Not necessarily, because I don't really trust the government in general, but like,
No, I mean, but that's not the government. Your worldview, like reality, your existential reality. Where are you? Where do you come from? Why are you here? All those things.
No.
It's a big difference, globe versus flat Earth, right? Like what the consequences of one versus the other are. There's a lot of different consequences.
You think?
Well, one can't be created in a Big Bang universe, right?
Yeah, I don't believe in like the Big Bang stuff.
Are you a deist? Deist?
Yeah. I'm like Muslim, basically.
Oh, then you have to believe in a flat Earth, man. It's against the law.
Oh yeah,
not to.
there is opinions like that the Earth is flat through the religion, but there's also opinions saying that the Earth is round. So it just depends on the way you interpret certain verses and stuff. But I don't really know much like to get into all of that stuff, you know.
I think the Earth is a hypercube.
Yeah,
It
great.
could be, bro. I hope it is.
Fifth dimension.
Yep. Well, it still falls in flat, so you know.
Oh, God, the trolls are just ridiculous. I think Earth is a icosahedron. I'm gonna see a random shape. We never heard that before.
Yeah, but Car, you're not original, dude. Just have
None of you fucks, dude. You guys are so lame, dude.
Wait, what?
No, these guys, dude, they just say, I think the Earth is insert random shape, dude. It's just so lame at this point.
It wasn't Bakar who said the hypercube. It was somebody else. I have a question.
Oh, I know. I'm just telling him about the other guy.
I don't even know what a hypercube is.
It's a 5-dimensional cube.
Yeah, it's not
How
a
does that work then?
Oh, it's the programmer. The programmer said that at the very bottom. Let's see him.
So, has the Earth ever been observed from far away?
Dude, why do you
got to
interject when Endio's talking to somebody else, bro? You know that there's a separate conversation happening. You're not the main character. Dude, you're not the main character.
See, Bakar, why did the cultist Alfredus Magnus interrupt? Do you think that there might be a reason for that?
I don't know. I think it's because there's no order.
No, it's because he's been in here thousands of times. And you've probably never been in here, right? Yeah, he's been in here thousands of times. And he's argued with us. And you're new, and he doesn't want us to give you any information, so he's trying to get in the way.
Oh.
Things we already discussed.
Did he ever win the arguments, or did he lose all of them?
No, he doesn't know. No, he's just basically throwing a fit and beating his chest with his cultish pronouncements.
That's not very smart.
I mean, let's think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just say you're not a Muslim. Good on you for actually believing in God. You're not a retard.
Yeah.
Most atheists are retarded.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is to promote atheism. That's the whole idea. Big Bang universe, evolution.
Yeah.
No God. That
I
shit.
don't
Materialism.
believe in evolution either.
But that's the whole point of the entire globe paradigm. That's the point. There is no other point.
Why do you think the what's the word? The government and stuff would lie to us about the Earth being flat?
Okay, so I mean, they're not really lying. I mean, who's lying? When you say government, what does that mean? The dog catcher?
Because NASA is
what do they know?
Government. They're a government agency, no, and they're the one who posts the pictures of Earth being round. And
most people that work there don't know it. Well, I mean, most people that work there don't know anything, right?
Not necessarily, because the ones who have access to the satellites, technically.
And what do they know?
What do you mean?
What do they know?
Well, they know that the Earth is flat because they have access to the satellites and the cameras and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh. So you think that we think Earth is a space disk?
I don't know, bro. I genuinely
we don't think that
on
there's no satellites in space. That's all fiction.
Oh, you don't believe there's any satellites?
There's no outer space vacuum either.
So what is it? Just Earth?
That's it, dude.
Wait, what about the stars then? What are stars?
Good question.
Do you have an answer for that question or no?
Nobody has an answer to that question.
No, the Bible actually does state what the stars are.
Yeah, I'll give you an answer to the question. People have answers, but they're just stories.
So
think
what
about it.
The moon?
So every generation, just let me tell you, every generation going back as far as you want to go back of mankind has had a story about the heavens. Only now do people think somehow it's right. Right, but they all believed in the past that their ideas were right. But now people think, oh, now we're the right ones. No, and nobody knows. They're never going to know. No one's ever going to figure it out. Because there's no way to verify it, right?
Yeah, it's true.
No matter what hypothesis you have, you can't even test it, right? You can't go up and like, hey, let's touch the stars. That's like a kid story or freaking in a freaking musical or something. Touch the stars.
There
Like
is
fucking
something
Annie.
empirical. There is something empirical that you can do, and you can see that they're not what they're telling you that they are. If you look at it through raw lenses and not through digital optimization, what you'll see is waves and flickers like something that's underwater. And it's kind of amazing, even from the Bible's perspective, that thousands of years ago they were able to describe that without having the optics to be able to zoom in that far.
Right. I don't adhere to what he's saying. Anyway, he's an esoteric author.
What does that mean?
It means his worldview is interpreted through mysticism and fucking magic.
That's incorrect.
Which is fine. Dude, okay. Stars don't look like they're under fucking water, bro. Okay? Need to focus your
Have you
minds.
looked at them, bro? Look at them. You will see the difference.
Yeah, I have. It's called scintillation because the air is turbulent and it makes shit shimmer.
Mm. Okay.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Remember that song? Why does stars twinkle?
Yeah. Because
the twinkling isn't a waving form. Twinkling is actually from the science perspective, the intermissions between light, because light takes time to travel, right? So
no,
you go twinkle, twinkle, little star goes back into science.
No, the twinkling in the modern scientific theory is caused by turbulence in the air. It's called scintillation.
Light is not constant; it travels.
I just checked. Like Muslims actually believe the Earth is like round, like egg shaped or something, or like not egg shaped, but like a sphere kind of thing. I just looked on it now.
Yeah, it says
Yeah, there's dispute with that. As a matter of fact, I'm not Muslim, so I couldn't. But other Muslims could dispute that. I can't. That's like from what I've heard, other Muslim players to say that's a misinterpretation of the text.
Makes sense, yeah.
That they're using it in the wrong context of how it was written. I couldn't make the argument. I don't read. I've seen Muslims arguing about it. I don't read Arabic. I'm not versed in the Quran, so it's outside my wheelhouse. But
so wait,
you were
talking what do you think about the stars then?
Well, you're talking about why. Wait, let's get back because I like to focus on one thing at a time. Like, so you said, why would they lie?
Yeah, why would they lie?
If there's no God, who's the highest moral authority?
Ooh, moral authority?
Yeah, who has the highest moral authority if God does not exist?
In today or like in general?
Just say God does not exist. Just to the rational human mind, who would then have the highest moral authority?
Probably like the leaders and stuff, like
the state, right?
Yeah.
Government.
Yeah. Okay, that's all you need to know.
So they just want to impose their beliefs into everyone else. That's it.
Well, I mean, so I'm sure you've heard that at one time in human history, people said that they were descended from God, right? This emperor descended right from heaven, and that gives his legal authority, his moral authority to tell everybody what to do, right? Because they're descendants of God. They're God-like themselves. The divine right of kings and all, et cetera, et cetera. All that went away, right? All that's gone. Now you have to support what your moral authority is based upon secularism. And how do you do that? How do you do that? You need a bunch of freaking atheists to say there is no God and that the highest moral authority is what the state says.
Do as thou wilt.
So when you say why are they lying, like who would be lying? So that's why I asked you, like who's lying. So it'd be people that have to know the truth, right? And then they're like, oh, I know the Earth's flat. I'm going to tell all these people it's a globe. Most people just don't know. They just believe something and they have no. We talk about this all the time. Alpha in here, if you look down, we're going to be on X later. And one of the things he asks, how do you know it's a globe? And he just goes and asks people. It's not just Globers. Ask them, how do you personally know it's a globe? And they got nothing because all their information is somebody said so, right? So it's all a bunch of hearsay that they heard something. But there's no knowledge that they have, right? So this is the case for almost everybody. They have no knowledge. They just heard something. Someone said it to them, and they adopted it. That's it.
Same with molten core theory.
I mean, it goes through a lot of things, right? So, I mean, not just
there's no
core,
evidence.
all the shit. Outer space, molten core, spaceships, rockets, satellites, astronauts. You name it. It's just a cool story.
What did you? Are you familiar with Project Fishbowl? I would imagine you are. It's so. Why do you think they would? Why do you think they would call it that? Like that implies some sort of knowledge beforehand, right?
I mean, yeah, it's an odd name. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they would call it that. The military and stupid names go together like hand in hand. So it might mean something, it might not.
Yeah, usually the name is like in or of some relation to the thing that they're attempting, right? So.
You mean like Iraqi freedom? Was that about Iraqi freedom?
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Like a lot of them are opposing to the thing. Like, but it's just bizarre, you know. Like they fired a whole bunch of nukes up at the atmosphere and detonated them. Like it's a bit weird.
Good Operation Iraqi Freedom. I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. I'm freaking sick and just saying it.
Well, I mean, you remember the what is it? The Freedom Act with the
USA Patriot Act.
The Patriot Act, yeah. It's like,
we're going to destroy the First Amendment, proving we're patriots.
Yeah, it's for the children, man. For the children.
Do it for the kids.
And people still act surprised that the government would lie to you. What? Like, yes, of course. They will tell you exactly what you want to hear, the words that you are looking to hear to get your vote. That's it.
Oh, was I muted? Anybody want to talk to Alfredus Magnus?
I don't know. I was going to say, I hope that one day I can have such a good outlook on everything in that nuance.
Yeah, why did you say you were humbled, man? You didn't get anything wrong. I mean, it's okay not to know things. Jesus Christ, dude. Nobody knows everything.
Wait, what'd you say?
Nobody.
Yeah, earlier you were like, I was humbled in here. Like, why were you humbled? Like you didn't get anything wrong. It's not you said that was just like incorrect.
Did you just say nobody knows everything?
Because you can be correct and incorrect at the same time.
No, your way of man, just the way that you pierce through the conversation with the nuance that you have, yeah, it gives me a piece of humble pie. Because, see, I like being challenged. I don't want cognitive biases, I want to be able to think objectively about things that are presented to me.
If I could pick one candidate for a person who knows everything, that would be Indio.
No, dude. No, it's you, actually. Remember, you know everything I know plus one?
True, but I'm full of shit, and you're for real. So, name one thing that you don't know.
How much money's in your pocket?
But I'm sure you could make a really educated guess.
You're broke.
Exactly. I do have pockets, and there's zero money in them right now.
Yeah, I would guess that you don't have any money in your pockets.
See,
and that you have
so
debit-
I
even
would bet
this,
he's sitting in his
you have plastic.
boxer shorts and he doesn't even have pockets.
close.
Not quite that far. I would guess debit cards. So no
But
actual.
even,
with no pants on.
Jesus, you guys are spiraling. Even that guess he made was correct. Just proving my point. He knows exactly how much money I have in my pockets. So you failed, Indio. Name one thing that you don't know.
Well,
Just one.
I didn't want to be rude, man.
Just
Nobody
one.
knows
All
the answer
right,
to this
well,
question.
listen,
No,
we'll settle this with a
you're
test.
messing up the punch.
All right,
You're
you
messing
go
up the
first. You go
punchline, man.
first.
You're messing up the punch.
He doesn't know that she's
Substantiate,
There is one thing I don't know and nobody else knows. That's who your father is.
substantiate your claim. Substantiate your claim.
That I don't know who your father is, and that you don't either.
No, substantiate your claim that you don't know everything.
Well, I would have to know it to not. What I don't listen. I don't know how many frickin' neutrons are in frickin' strontium. Like I don't fucking know. I could look it up, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
But you would know where to look it up, and you know what that element is. So that's good enough.
Yeah, I guess. Wouldn't help me if I was taking a chemistry test right now, though, would it?
Right.
Sure, but you know that's specialized knowledge. Okay, within reason, you know everything.
I know a lot about the things I'm interested in. The things I'm not interested in, I don't know anything about. Like I couldn't tell you, like the animators of fucking Fantasia, right? Like, but I'm sure there's people that know all the animators of every Disney freaking movie ever made, and I bet you there's a good amount of people that know that. Or
But you know how they
all the
do
Disney
it.
movies are, right? So if I was into
Sure.
cinema, right? So say I was into
Okay.
French cinema, I would know a lot about French cinema, but I don't. And you can't say that that's obscure knowledge.
Well, it is, but you, for example, know how these animations are made because you know everything about computer graphics and perspective.
Well, I also know how they were made in the past.
There you go. Okay, let me rephrase. You know 80%.
I even know the process for how they would make them.
You're just proving my point. So I would like to restate my claim. Indio knows 80% about everything.
There's a lot of
The
shit I don't
Pareto
know,
rules.
believe me.
He knows 80% about everything.
Look, if I don't know about it, I can't tell you because I don't know about it. Do you understand? Is that hard to comprehend? I can't say, hey, I don't know this thing because I don't know about it.
I think you're just being humble.
No, I'm just like thinking real hard for something.
All right, we'll settle this with the ultimate question. We'll settle this with the ultimate question. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen European swallow?
5.
69.
0. China got to it and ate it.
666.
All right, but the actual question is, what movie is that from?
Holy Grail.
You win.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's the +1, Indio. I know everything you know +1. That's the +1. But we're not talking about me. We're talking about you tonight. So are you still thinking about the one thing that you don't know about, like the 80% of everything claim?
Isn't knowledge.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a field that I don't know a lot about, and it's I guess I don't know. Blatzy knows a lot more than me about what a millwright does. I know they exist, but I don't really know what they do.
Can you cook crack?
They erect
Actually, I
big
can.
machinery, like for factories and
Bam.
power plants, and they work on heavy type machinery, like maintaining it and whatnot, or erecting machinery.
It's not a popular job in Boston.
Indio,
How
can you
should it say 0 employed millwrights in the city?
So my
can
friends,
you
my friends had
do your
a
best
an
Boston
apartment.
accent for us?
Right. Before you do that, I got to tell you this little quick story. My friend had an
But
apartment that she
real
rented
quick.
out to a few millwrights that came and they were working on one machine for like a few weeks and they each made 40 grand.
That was real quick.
Yeah, I know they can make a fortune, right? Especially if it's a very specialized machine. So, Peter, do you got something useful to say?
Could you do your best Boston accent for us?
No, just, I don't know. Listen to a recording. I don't need to keep doing it.
No, I want to hear you do it. Because I'm checking if you know 80% about Boston accents.
Dude, I
He's
wasn't
saying
born.
he lives in
I
Boston,
wasn't even
but not
born
born.
here. I live here, but I wasn't born here. I'm not a
I
native.
know, but I'm sure you've picked it up a little bit.
No, but nobody. No, we're gentrified now. You don't hear it that much.
That is true.
I'd have to cross the bridge into Charlestown. Then I'd hear some dick ass shit.
The only time I heard it in Boston was when I spoke to a police officer.
Well, I mean, like I said, we're gentrified now, so it's not the way it was. I haven't heard somebody call soda tonic in like, I don't know, fucking 2 decades.
Actually heard someone saying that maybe 2 years ago. But yeah, it's been a while. Soda tonic.
Do you want to be a co-op?
Look, what you need to do is you need to get on the subway, one of the drivers, right? And make sure they're like 60 years old. Then you're going to hear some thick ass Boston accent. Because they didn't start their job at 50, 60. They started out like 30 years ago. Hey, Jamesy. Jamesy, you here?
How are you?
Yo,
Yeah.
man. What's up? How you feeling? Still good?
Doing all right. I'm doing good.
Good, man. Awesome. Now, do you guys speak Spanish in a Boston accent?
No.
Un
I was
poquito.
thinking, dude, how are you gonna do the R in Spanish, man? Like, that would be fucking hard.
We just bring the Spanish language and just hear, people speak it the way they speak it. They don't hold back. We don't hold back the Spanish with any accent specifically. There's many accents from all the Spanish countries that you cannot afford to mix it with the Bostonian one.
Because you got that rolling tongue R. I was just wondering, like, how are you gonna say Harvard when you're like, whatever you guys do, man, like that fucking Radico, that shit. How are you gonna do that with a Boston accent? How are you gonna say? I guess car is the same.
You know who does
Uh-huh.
that? Brazilians do that. Portuguese R is like a Boston version of Spanish R, right? They don't say the double R in Spanish. That's like "r." They go, for example, arrombado. Arrombado in Spanish would be
They speak
arrombado.
Portuguese, not Spanish.
I know. I'm just showing Indio what +1 looks like. So in Portuguese, the double R becomes like an H sound, kind of like copper in the Boston accent, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to talk to some Portuguese people to find out.
Yeah, you should. There's a lot of them in
Portuguese
Boston.
there's a lot of them in East Cambridge. So
They're Brazilians, yeah, but
no,
sure.
no, Azores.
Mm.
We got
What's that?
Azores
What's
and
that
Brazilians.
sentence? What's that sentence that you're supposed to say for your Boston accent? Is it park the car in the harbor yard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you trying to get me to say it? Park the car in the Harvard yard.
No, no.
Yes,
I just was trying to remember what it was.
Don't ruin it. Say it, Indio.
Park the car in the Harvard yard.
Yes, he did it.
We're gonna take a wicked pisser. We're gonna have a wicked pisser down the pub.
Told you he knows everything. He's just so humble. Such a humble man.
And the only people that drag on the R more than that is Globers when they're constantly inflating their radius to make excuses for observations.
That's true.
Look, if you want to hear the best Boston accent, listen to Adam Sandler's "They're All Gonna Laugh at You" tape. Toll Booth Willie. It's fucking funny as fuck. Plays a Worcester toll booth officer. Welcome to Worcester. And you ever heard it?
So it's Park the guy in the Harvard Yard, right? Is that right?
Park, yes, exactly.
No, you
Dude,
say
it was really weird hearing you say that. Like I could still hear like the southern accent in there just a little bit.
I can't get that out of there.
That was very good, though. That was very good, especially on a first try. That was awesome.
Why, thank you kindly.
India, you ready to vote tomorrow? You voting for Dr. Shiba?
I'm not voting, dude.
You're not voting?
Hell no. Stop doing that.
I voted today on your behalf, Indio, so you don't have to. I voted on your
No
behalf.
doubt.
I
I'm
want you
sure
to know
about
that.
there's about 30 people probably going to vote on my behalf. They probably all live in a house I don't live in no more.
Yeah, rumor has it Trump is going to get 750 million votes.
How many are they going to count?
None, yeah.
I never vote because I can't find anyone who's deserving of my vote, so I don't vote.
Exactly, dude. It's like voting for your favorite cancer.
You don't have a write-in candidate?
Come on, guys.
I
we have
mean,
Dr.
Dempsey got it
Shiba.
right.
Come on.
Dr. Shiva's good. He's a good, but dude, dude, I like him. Everything he says is correct. Everything he's saying is absolutely correct. I have no problem with anything he says. Just take that to heart because I have a problem with a lot of things people say. But I give him credit for trying, but his methodology for fixing the blob is not realistic.
Yeah.
Can't be fixed. It's not fixable.
I'm just saying he's an option, but I'm pretty sure he's not gonna get it 100%. I know.
What I'm saying is like Booby Kennedy. He's fucking hilarious, dude. I watch him when he live streams. He's fucking hilarious. I love Shiba. He's great. But I'm just saying is like the system is so busted. It's so busted. It's not fixable. It's not even the politics of the government itself. Problem is the interior of the government, right? There's too many federal employees. There's too many people making money off the private contractors and et cetera, dude. This is too much. Like that, it's like the car has an inertia, and it doesn't matter which one ornament jumps on the front of the car. It like that isn't going to help the brakes. You can't stop it. It's out of control. It can't be stopped. That's my opinion.
Well, you can crash it.
Yeah, that's all you can do is crash it, and like literally, that's all you can do, and hope the least amount of people get freaking killed in the crash. That's really that at the point we're at.
Down the hill to the bottom of the ocean.
Jamesy, have you voted yet?
Nah.
Don't worry, I got you, brother. I got you, brother.
I thought you were Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I thought you guys got to vote in elections. I thought you're an American citizen. All that shit.
What they say, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, that's the right attitude, Jamesy. Yeah, that's what they say. I'm not going to confirm or deny.
Don't worry, I made the choice for you. Don't worry.
Hey, Indio, I have the space scheduled for like 20 minutes.
Word, man. Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready. I'll be game.
It's been a while since you guys have cooked it. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, you're going to take another beating? No,
yes.
Riddle me this, Peter.
why did you say that plumb lines are perpendicular to the ground? Especially when you're talking shit that you already told Miggy that curvature's been measured by angles, but then you said plumb lines are perpendicular to the ground, which I already told you in the globe they're not.
They're not?
So you did the
Holy
thing that you
crap.
pointed your finger at Miggy about, and you did it yourself?
Well, obviously they're not perpendicular to the ground. The ground is never even.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
So they're perpendicular
know
to
the
the
argument.
vertical mountain.
He doesn't. No, he's fucking trying to like. You ever see like the log roll when they got their leg on two logs and they're like floating away? He's doing
Yeah.
splits right now.
Oh my goodness. Have you ever seen the Volvo commercial with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yes.
Can't remember.
He
Look
was
it
doing
up.
the splits between two rigs, and he was just holding himself up by the pressure between the rigs. So if the rigs veered off left or right, he would fall and smash his nuts.
Or you could just type it into YouTube search. But either way,
Commercial.
yeah, that's.
Hold
want you
on,
to
dude.
have
I gotta make some money, dude. I gotta make some money. So the commercial is
Oh.
about the stability of the vehicles over long distances, where they don't just go left or right. I now
Well, they were
use
going
my
in
promo
reverse.
code.
They were going in reverse. The two trucks are reversing.
No, they just reversed the camera.
No.
Oh, that's right. They didn't do it on the moon.
No.
They were going in reverse because they
Anyways.
were running away from Chuck Norris.
Yeah. Anyways, I want you to have that image every time you talk to me, India.
No. Dude, Jean-Claude Van Damme has gotten more ass in a day than you've gotten in your life.
That is true. But it's the quality of the ass that counts.
Oh, dude, he had all kinds, no doubt. He even complained about it. Now that he's older, he's complaining about
He
it.
complained about it because it was mostly male.
No.
It was mostly
no.
P. Diddy.
I would
No.
complain too, but you know, God spared me that experience so far, at least. But
Where's
let's
the
not judge
soundboard?
him. He's
Stop the
European.
cap.
He's a Belgian. Let's not, let's not judge him too harshly.
Peter, don't lie. You know that to get into that club, you had to. Come on, bro.
How come Poland is so base, but you're not, Peter?
That's why I had to leave.
Sure they didn't throw you out?
I'm pretty sure.
Can you be stripped of citizenship in Poland? Even if you're native born?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. You sure about
But
that?
you obtain your citizenship by blood, but it can be revoked.
Do you have to take an oath of allegiance?
No, like I just told you, just process the words that you heard. You obtain it by blood, no matter where you live, as long as one of your parents is Polish. So you obtain it whether you want to have it or not.
Yeah, but there had to be some starting point where someone made an oath of allegiance. Someone of the ancestors.
Oh, really? No.
That's how sovereignty works.
Well, in your head.
No, in the law. It's been the law
Okay.
since the Roman times.
Okay. Kids, Indio is going to teach me, since he knows 80% about everything, how Polish citizenship works. Indio, walk us through it.
Well, I mean, there might be the way you think it works versus the way it actually works.
Okay.
So what
Thank
makes
you,
someone
Indio.
a Polish citizen? Just being there?
Not even being there.
So there's two. So there's called Just Sole, right? You know what that is, right?
You're just mispronouncing it in a comical way.
What did I mispronounce?
No, just go ahead.
What is it, Peter? Tell me what it is.
What can you say it again?
Just Sole. Just Sole.
Just Sole?
Yeah. Oh, Peter.
The law of the land?
Yeah,
the soil?
what does it mean? Yeah, what does it mean in this context?
It's the American way.
Okay. And what does it mean?
It means that when you're born in a given territory, you obtain the citizenship of that country.
Okay. So, what is the European method?
They have different methods.
What is it called? There's a name for it.
Europe does not share a single method.
And it is Just Sole. It's spelled Jussoli. By the way.
Okay.
So whatever you're trying to do, I don't really understand. But whatever. So do I really got to get into this with you?
No. You just explained to me how Polish citizenship.
So allegiance, right? So like allegiance is due. When is allegiance due to a sovereign?
I don't know. You tell me.
What is the conditions? What is the conditions?
I have no idea.
You got to be sworn to the person.
I see.
And this has been the time from the Roman times. So there's a reciprocal duty. It's actually in the Latin. So there's a reciprocal duty. So the sovereign has a duty of protection, and the subject has a duty of obedience, right? But it's passed by lineage, right? So like you said. So the thing you're thinking of, right? So the political condition of the children passed in the political condition of the father. The mother has nothing to do with it. And it's called Patrae Patrum or something like that in the Latin. So I mean, it's published in battle in the Law of Nations, how it is worldwide. This is how the laws are applied between nations. When you're the subject of a particular country or a citizen of a particular country, is that you owe a duty of allegiance to whoever the sovereign power is in that country. Now, if Parliament or some legal fiction is sovereign power, that whole relationship is fictitious. Okay, but if there's an actual person, a man, right, like a king, I'm pretty sure didn't Poland have an emperor or a king or something?
A king, yeah.
Yeah. So people were sworn to this guy. They swore oath of allegiances. Sometimes the oath of allegiances were sworn at 13 years old.
Some did, yeah.
Europe. Yeah. So all these, so there's some of these people left in the country, right? You think that they're descended from the king?
From the nobility, yeah.
Yeah. Do they still exist? They still have titles?
Maybe, yeah, but no, yeah. Some nerds, yeah.
So, but they created this fiction, I don't know what you call it. Is it a parliament?
It's a republic.
Yeah, but they created a parliament, right? The governing body is the parliament. The lawgiver is the parliament, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the parliament is the lawgiver. And they created citizenship by statute?
Probably.
Or is it more ancient than the parliament? This is what I'm talking about.
It's more ancient, yeah.
Yeah, that means it has to pass hereditarily. It's the way it always did in the past. It means parliament is not the determiner of citizenship. Now, typically, so say I was an immigrant, Peter, and I wanted to immigrate to your country. Am I going to have to take oath of allegiance to Poland to become a citizen of your country?
I don't know.
Yeah, I bet you do. I would bet frickin' $100 that you do. That you're going to have to take some sort of oath of allegiance to the nation of Poland, Republic of Poland.
Maybe.
Because how else are they going to charge you with treason?
They just will.
They just will? No.
Mhm.
No. Treason is very specific. A very specific crime is considered the worst crime.
You truly are an expert in the laws of all the countries, aren't you?
Well, I mean, no, it's not the laws of all the countries. See, there's some laws which are universal in Europe. I don't know about China and all that shit. Yeah,
Really?
so there was something called the Lex Non Scripta, which is the Roman civil law, which is what you guys are under.
Mhm.
And there's so the same principles that are in that, this Lex Non Scripta, it's an unwritten law. The same legal principles also exist in the English common law, though the way they're meshed together is slightly different, but the same underlying principles. So you have certain things, right? So that
So all countries in Europe
if you
are
promise to
based
do
on
something,
Roman law.
so tell me, in Poland, if I promise to do something for a valuable consideration, can that person compel me or force me to do it or give the money back? Can they enforce a
In
promise?
some
Is what I'm
cases,
asking
yeah.
you.
In some case, not the same as in America. It's more formal.
Of course, the mechanism isn't the same, but the fundamental right. Someone made me a promise. I gave them something for this promise, and they didn't execute the promise. That is against the law. It's not a
In
crime
some cases.
necessarily. In all cases, you don't get free shit.
Is this
There's
how
no law
delusional you
in the country. No law presumes a gift. They don't presume a gift.
Oh my god. You have no idea how different the world is than what you know. But keep
Yeah,
going.
okay, you're not actually refuting me with anything I say, Peter. You're just saying you don't understand the same bullshit you guys always do.
Because I am never going to put myself in a position where I have to prove that I am not a camel.
Yeah, okay, cool story. But there's fundamental principles. I gave
Okay,
you the name of what it's
substantiate your
called.
claim. Substantiate your claim.
Oh, God.
Substantiate that what you just said is true in the Republic of Poland. I will wait.
Okay, dude.
You just made a claim. Substantiate your claim. The burden of proof is a biatch.
Yeah, not really. Okay. I'm gonna post in the chat, Peter. That was fucking easy.
Okay.
Fundamentals of Anglo-American and Pegasus legal law systems contract law. Real fucking simple, dude.
Anglo-American?
Contract two sides bar. Yeah, Anglo-American.
Anglo-American?
And fundamentals of Anglo-American and Polish legal systems.
Okay, let's go.
By Jan Halberta at aj.edu.pl.
Yeah.
He's a doctor he's a doctor in fucking.
Yeah.
He's got a law degree, a law doctorate. So we
Appeal
have
to
key terms:
authority.
agreement,
Let's go.
contract, offer, acceptance, promise, consideration. Wow, it sounds just like what the fuck I just said. Consideration is an inducement to contract, which may include money, mutual exchange of promises, and the agreement of parties to do or refrain from doing some act of which they are not obligated to do. Wow, weird. Just like I said, weird.
You just read the definition?
I just read from the document, dude.
Well, I'm
Cinnamon
waiting for
versus
the
Wellington.
substantiation of your claim.
1595, Peter. Some moving cause of consideration precedent for which cause of consideration the promise was made. Literally what I said.
Yes.
Dude, these cases go to the 1500s, dude. I can't even believe you're arguing with me. Quite honestly, stupid.
I'm not arguing. I'm waiting for you to substantiate your
Consideration which
claim
is promise to
that the
perform an
law works
existing
exactly the same as
obligation.
in Anglo-Saxon countries.
I didn't say it was exactly the same. Now you're trying to straw man my position. What
Oh,
I
I
said
didn't
is
argue that there's no promise or
Peter. Peter, don't even do it. You fucking weasel. Fucking
I
weasel.
said
Dude.
it works like that in some cases, I said.
No, I said there's fundamental. I said there's fundamental principles from which all the legal systems in Europe are based upon that go back to the
Okay,
Roman
walk us through
civil
it.
law.
Walk us through it. Walk us through it.
No, I'd rather just shut you the fuck up.
May I ask a question? 'Cause
Why
it
do
seems
I
like you
ever
guys aren't
interact
getting
with
anywhere.
him? Why do I ever interact with him? I don't know. Anyway, what's more?
I was, not saying I'm one side or the other, more or less, but I had a question as far as like, in the globe model, wouldn't it be making sense for the temperatures at the equator to be higher? How is that explained on the flat Earth model?
I mean, are they higher?
Yes, on average, they are higher. And equator.
Does that kind of depend where you are?
Yeah, based on the equator. My question, more or less,
No,
how
like
does
your
that
elevation or your
does
local
not.
geography.
It does not.
Oh, so there's
Sea
not,
level.
there's not a fucking glacier at the equator. I'm pretty sure there is
Where?
in Ecuador.
Yeah,
It's at a high elevation.
elevation definitely takes into account for it, sure.
Okay,
but,
so local geography, like I said.
But on the average, like I said, at sea level, the average temperature around the globe or Earth model is substantially higher than it would be at the poles, correct?
Yeah, who cares? It has a more consistent day length. It has the longest days.
Well, my question more or less is, even if that's not the case, my question is, what is the reasoning for it with the flat Earth model? If there is,
there's no cause and effect relationship between the shape of the Earth and fucking season.
I'm not saying there is. I'm more or less questioning at the temperature average for the equator. If it were to be as described on the globe, I'm not trying to say it is a globe. I'm just saying, like, to use the term equator to
They
just
get
give
more.
you an understanding of
They
where I'm from.
get more daylight. It's very simple.
And why is that?
So you're asking me what I just said. There's no causal relationship.
Well, I'm just trying to understand more or less the flat Earth.
You're asking me
model
about
for
the.
it.
No, you're not asking me about the flat. You're asking me about the sun.
Okay, well, forget my new question, I guess, if you will, to reiterate, is on the flat Earth model. What is the reason for those temperatures to be higher?
Has nothing to do with the flat Earth.
I'm just asking if you're
And
a
I'm
flat
telling you, it
earther or
has
if you're
nothing to
not.
do with the flat Earth. There's
All right,
no.
so if you're not defending the
We
flat
don't.
Earth, I'm not talking to you.
No. See, in your paradigm, there's some causal connection.
No, I'm
In
just
ours,
genuinely
there's
asking.
not.
But that's not. You're living out of fact, or you're not living in fact. You're living in fiction.
What do you mean? So
You're
you can show
talking
the
to me
causal
as far
mechanism.
as you're
Okay, so
talking
you
to me
can
at
show
sea
that.
level that the equator countries have the same temperature on average as, let's say, fucking Canada,
Gotcha.
or let's say
I know you think you have a
Nova Scotia.
gotcha. Yeah,
I'm not saying I
know
have a
you.
gotcha. I'm just asking
No,
a
you
simple
think
question for an
that's why you
explanation.
won't.
You're not.
No,
No. Let me talk for 1 second because you're just over talking. I'm just genuinely curious. I'm not saying I started this whole question
I
as I
answered
don't believe one way or another.
No, I
I'm
answered
not
it.
saying you're wrong. I'm just
No, I
looking for
answered it.
what
But I
was the
answered it.
answer? A
But I
non-answer?
answered it.
A
There's no
non-answer.
causal connection.
Okay, but like you're disputing fact.
No, I said there's no causal connection. X causes Y.
Again,
Yes, we
you're
observe.
disputing
We
fact.
observe like Y is the effect, right? So we observe Y.
My simple
Why does
question is
Y
why are the
happen?
temperatures higher at the equator than elsewhere in the world on the flat Earth model?
Has nothing to do with the Earth.
Why does it not have anything to do? I'm genuinely curious to see the explanation as far as the reasoning for it on the flat Earth model. I'm not saying the Earth is a globe. I want evidence as far as, or not evidence. I just want explanation as more or less far as why.
I already told you. The
No,
days are
you're
longer.
sidestepping it.
No,
No, they're not
I'm telling
longer.
you directly. The days are longer.
Then
You're
where?
asking me what? Than everywhere else.
Okay.
Consistently, they're longer.
Okay. So that's that's the reason for the spike of 20-degree difference,
Well, I mean,
or if not on average better. About 23.
Look. Hold on a second.
23.5 degrees. 23.5 degrees higher difference is equatorial, whatever you want to call it.
Sorry, someone's talking.
All right, non-answer. I got it. Good luck, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, nice begging the question, dude.
Sorry, I had someone talk to me. Anyway, talk. Anyway, is this guy still here?
He
This guy's still here.
No, tucked his tail, said, yeah, no answer, and then left like he won.
I gave him the answer. Like, what didn't he
There's a
understand?
glacier on the equator? That's crazy, man. I didn't know that.
There's
That's
somewhere
such
in
a gem.
Ecuador. It's like
Yeah,
not
yeah,
right
that's so
directly
cool.
on the equator. It was very
Yeah, but
close.
it's around about. Yeah. Didn't know that. That's trippy.
I'm not trying to do a gotcha, so I'm gonna not ignore your answer, say you're not answering me, and I'm gonna quit as soon as you're busy doing something else and say I won. Fucking whatever. I almost want like how I can even deal with these people sometimes. That their level of just abject dishonesty just sickens me.
That should have slowed him down. Like when you said, there's ice on the equator, he should have gone like, oh, really? Oh, I should look into that or something, rather than just barreling through it as they do.
You know what? Alpha already started his space, and I made a promise that I was going to go to 24/7 home server at 11, but nobody's there.
Ratsy, what time zone did Mr. 11 tell you to be there?
Central time, baby.
All right. So that's now, right?
Yeah, but nobody's there.
Well,
But
get in
Alpha's
there.
in his
Get in
space.
there first, and then tell the other guy he's not there. Make it look like he's not showing up. There you go.
Yeah, ping everybody, and then ping here, and then ping, like, don't ping me evers.
Yeah, and then say, so and so promised there'd be a party tonight, but he didn't show up. So I guess he let us all down. What a guy.
So I'm not Sphere because I was there.
Uh-oh.
So have we got any evidence for the North Center? I feel like we had a 50-50 shot at choosing the right one. And I think we need to address how we chose it.
I've never seen one. I've only seen other time lapses of stars rotating around Sigma Octantis. So that other center may just be a psyop.
Exactly. I have seen stars rotating around Sigma Octantis many, many, many times. I think it's a little bit sus. They don't?
They don't.
Rotate?
No, the
Share
Southern
with me.
Cross just goes east to west, as far as I can see. It doesn't
That's what I'm saying.
rotate around the point.
What?
It just goes east to west. Southern Cross goes east to west, like all the other stars.
Yeah, we've agreed on that point.
Doesn't
I don't know
it
why you're
doesn't
going back
fucking
to
rotate around a central point?
It doesn't? That's wild.
Well,
That's wild.
Well, Polaris. Yeah, it does Polaris. Yeah, it rotates around Polaris.
So you've just fallen for this northern-centric psyop.
Idiot. You've fallen for the southern pole bullshit.
Well, because
Think this is a
Southern
southern pole
Cross
star?
observably revolves around a Sigma Octantis.
It doesn't. It goes east to west, the same as all the other stars around Polaris.
I find it a bit funny that we agree with the east to
Such
west, we
bullshit.
disagree with what it's surrounding, and you're like, but I want to go back to the bit that we agree on. It's a bit weird.
Just saying east west doesn't
He's just
really give you some
making shit up,
specific.
right? Oh, look, there's Sigma. You're just making shit up and then saying, "Oh, disprove that." Disprove shit that you just made up. No, it's garbage. Because the Southern Cross goes east to west around fucking Polaris, the same as all the other stars. It's not rotating right. It's not rotating in a circle around another point in the south.
Let me
Such bullshit.
Let me just pop that in. You can just see the thumbnail of
Just
that thing I
goes
put in the
east
side
to
chat.
west. I look at it in the sky. It's up in the east. A few hours later, it's over in the west. It's not doing anything weird, like you say. It's just going east
Yeah,
to
it's
west.
funny.
like
It's
the other
like I
stars.
said, it keeps being really funny that you keep going back to the point upon which we agree. It's like you know your argument's broken, so you're returning to common shared ground where we both say
No,
yes.
you're
They do
saying
go
that
east to
there's
west. Definitely east to west.
Yeah.
You don't need to keep bringing it up like it supports your argument.
So east to west around around Polaris, not around Sigma Octantis. That's completely garbage.
But you need to, that's the bit you need to prove. And then when I'm saying prove it, you're like, well, let me
You
go back
need
to the
to
east to west
prove it,
bit.
moron.
Sure, I've put one in
You
the
need
chat.
to
That's
prove-
one bit of evidence. Like
you
my
need to
lived
prove it.
experience is a bit of bit of evidence, but
I'm not looking at.
You're not
I'm
looking at
tired of
evidence.
looking at. No, I'm tired of looking at fucking time-lapse footage that uses, split screen and fisheye and all of these tricks and bullshit, right? Really not interested, bro.
That is wild to me. That is a totally new version
You
of
can set up
reality
You
denial.
set up the fucking camera with upside down, with fisheye, with all these effects that you pile into the camera and into the editing suite and go, look at the stars move this way. Give me
Well, no, I'm
right.
basing it on having seen them with my eyes do the thing that I'm claiming they do. That's why I'm confident they do the thing that everybody else claims they do, because I've seen it do that thing.
Great. I just see him go left to right, east to west. I don't see him go around. There's no southern point.
You
that all
haven't
of the
seen
southern
that? Have you looked at them ever with your eyeballs?
Yeah, I just see that. Yeah, they all just go east to west. There's no southern point that they rotate around. That's nuts. And there's no evidence for it. It's complete garbage.
Okay, but even if they did, like, would you, like, does that prove the law?